Hello, everybody. Thank you, everybody that made it over from the Galaxy universe, the Universe Galaxy. Sorry, or Michael Jordan fans are the worst fans in the NBA. If you made it over from either one of those sites, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate him bringing the traffic over, and then all everybody else that stopped in. Thank you, Mud Rabbit. Thank you, Andre. Let's see who else we got in here. John stopped by. JP McCormick. Yeah, everybody that stopped by so far and is hanging out, I appreciate it. Hope everybody's having a good night. I just touched base with the guest that's going to be on tonight. He's just popping over and grabbing some food real quick, but he will be right back because I told him I was getting ready to start winging things off here anytime. But yes, we are live. We're going to be talking about a lot of different topics tonight. Some political, some kind of like moral topics. Um, I don't know. I feel like a lot of them are morality based. I wouldn't consider any of them religious topics, but and then I'd like to save the killer for the end. The Michael Jordan fans are the worst fans in NBA. That will be probably, hopefully, our last topic. If we get anybody that wants to call in and talk about any of these topics with us or discuss any of these topics with us, I'm gonna, if I haven't already, I believe I shared the StreamYard in the description. But yes, once we get the topics rolling, if you have any debate about them or me or for the Universe Galaxy, you're more than welcome to. LeBron is no Jordan. Oh, it's starting early. Hello, moi. Thank you for stopping in. Wonkaroo, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah. But let's see. I want to kind of preface this a little bit once the Universe Galaxy comes on. I'll give a little bit more detail. But he has been on the show before. I think only a few people saw that episode. I think it's got like 35 views, and then I ended up making it private because I I didn't like the way it went. It went really wild and didn't wasn't really set up like a debate in any way, shape, or form. So I feel like I'm a little more experienced now, and hopefully, yeah, get get it to be a little more structured this time and a little more better, or a little better the way it's formatted and everything. Sorry, I'm like overthinking this conversation, but it should be fun. I was just over at his site hanging out. Got a bunch of people over there just hanging out. What is that? Excuse me, sir. Do you know drop? Hey, Zachary Kim. Hello, everybody else. I appreciate everybody stopping in. Let me see. Actually, I might have the 4 questions ready here in his voice. Let's see what we got.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. I'm going to throw out 4 topics for you guys. And just so you know, if things work out well, you're always welcome on my program. You can plug your page on my page if you like. So let me throw out 4 topics.
Networking, that works.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. I'll throw out 4 topics for you. You tell me if you like any of them.
Okay, and so whoever, if anybody can hear that, the other person in the background with me in the Universe Galaxy is Michael Pena. But we'll go over this again. I just wanted to give people kind of a heads up about what we're going to talk about.
I'll go.
What do you mean by like willing to talk about them? I already know we're willing to talk about all of them as long as they're YouTube friendly.
Hey, shut up. Let him ask his questions. No, that's totally fine. If you, the other reason was I thought, let me just bring them all up. So you tell me which one you want. If you want to pick any, also.
Okay.
If you, which one you want to pick, if any of them. Okay, so I'm glad you're open minded. It was also to show you, yeah, if you want to pick one first or second or third or fourth, whatever you know. All right, the first one you already know. Michael Jordan fans are the worst NBA fans. The second topic, I'm an independent. I've never voted for any side, never given money to any political party. I hate the electoral college system. But over the years, I've come to the conclusion that in general, Republicans are worse than Democrats. The third topic for you, every time you go out and you buy meat, cheese, milk, or pretty much anything that comes from an animal, you're giving your money literally to an industry that's torturing and killing animals. And the last and final topic, when a guy turns 16, 17, 18, around that number, those numbers, do you know any religion or anywhere in science, because most people, they learn things from religion and science or science, do you know any religion or science that explains anything that where they basically go, once a guy turns this age, he is no longer supposed to be attracted to other girls that age then?
Those are the 4 questions. I think, Universe just popped in. These should be some interesting questions. I was giving everybody a little clip of the last interview when you popped on, and the 4 questions that were brought up.
Nice. Yeah.
So this is Universe Galaxy, everybody. He has he has 2 pages as well. I shared them in the description, so if anybody wants to check them out, they're more than welcome to. He's got one page that's called, and make sure I don't get this wrong, Michael Jordan fans are the worst fans in NBA. And then the other one is
Michael Jordan fans are the worst NBA fans.
Oh, okay.
No problem.
And then the other one is just your name, the Universe Galaxy.
Yeah, these are 2 of my pages. I actually have other pages, but I haven't plugged those to you, obviously. But these are the ones that you know. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just heard about the radio one today. That one sounded fun.
Yeah. I hope you like that.
I haven't got to check it out yet. I'm gonna have to go check that one out next.
Yeah, what I mean is, if you ever played, I hope you like it. Yeah, no problem. And even if you never played, it's fine. But how you doing, man? How you doing?
I'll definitely check it out.
Thanks. And hello, everybody in the chat room. Hello there.
But I already had a couple fun comments coming in. I'm gonna pull them up for you.
All right.
And LeBron is no Jordan. But I feel like we can get to the Michael Jordan questions anytime. But I feel like it's fun because I do think we debate more a little bit on the other topics that you like to bring up.
Okay.
And it was about food choices and eating meat in general, in the torture of animals in factory farming and stuff like that. Then also the age of consent one, I think me and you kind of go back and forth on that one, and I'm still trying to understand where we can find a middle ground there. And then that Republicans are just naturally worse than Democrats.
Okay. All right. Hey, Wonker, what's going on?
Hey, Wonkaroo. Hey, everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure how long I'm going to be on for, but
yeah, no problem. Hey, Divine Tiffany. And by the way, when I came on before you started your show, could they hear us, or they couldn't hear us at that time?
Oh no, they were just hanging out in the waiting screen.
So they couldn't hear us.
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, how you doing, Divine Tiffany? I actually gave her a compliment. She probably didn't know that, but I was basically saying something like, "Oh wow, beautiful girl," or something like that. Anyway, she wrote to me right now, so I was saying hi to her, and I wanted to know that.
Yeah, not a problem. So what is your preference? I mean, what is your description of how you think Republicans are worse than Democrats? If you could give it shortly.
Sure. Yeah, sure. It's basically. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, and then we can dive into it and kind of go from there.
Yeah, sure. It's basically 4 things. So there's 4 things that they do that are different. So in no particular order. They believe in more. They're paranoid about more things, like the government's coming after guns, the government's coming after this, the government's doing that, and all that. Number 2, they believe in more conspiracy theories. Barack Obama is a secret Muslim. He wasn't born in America. The liberals control the media. They're trying to influence America in a negative way through the media and things like that. Number 3, they have like an almost dangerous hatred of the left. Sean Hannity writes a book, Deliver Us from Evil. And he puts liberalism as an evil thing. Michael Savage writes a book, Liberalism is a Mental Disorder. Ann Coulter writes a book, If Democrats Had Brains, They'd Be Republicans, and things like that. And number 4, they do this thing way more than Democrats do, where they basically give their side a pass, and then they blame pretty much all of America's problems on the left. Like you can literally go into a YouTube video and just make up something. Just make it up. Just go write something like, I can't prove this, but I think the Democrats might be to blame for all the reasons we're losing all these trees. And you'll get a bunch of Republicans just agreeing with you. They just have this dangerous, weird, ridiculous, strange kind of hatred for the left, way more than the left hates the right. And when the left hates the right, which they do it too, I don't say the Democrats are innocent, but when they question the right, they question like the Iraq War, homosexuals being treated fairly, racism, and things like that. I'm not saying they don't have anything stupid, but it's not as many stupid things as Republicans have. Republicans will just go down the list. They blame pretty much everything on the left. They give themselves a pass. They contradict themselves, and they'll just try to find a way to blame Democrats.
Okay. Well, for some reason I think of it a little differently, because I don't think of the two parties as being two parties. I think they're very fractured on both sides. I think there are a new fraction of Republicans that I would consider Trumpers, and I think there's some of the most dangerous people to actually be involved in politics, because they don't necessarily look at the political issues. I also see a far left-leaning side to the Democratic Party pushing issues that also aren't necessarily supported by the other side, or even in their own party. Same as well as the Republicans. There's a lot of Republicans that aren't on board with the Trumpers. And so I do think there's multiple fractions of the Democratic and Republican Party, and I do think there's extremes on both sides. I don't necessarily think one is greater than the other, because honestly, I really don't know if, when it comes to just the media side, I don't know that there are very many, if any, right-wing media stations that are main platform. Besides, like I think now in like modern times, you get you get Breitbart, you get and who was I thinking of? I was thinking of Blaze TV the other day. You get right-wing things, but I don't even think Fox follows the right-wing narrative as much as it likes to pretend to.
Oh, wow. Fox? You don't think they do that?
Oh, no, I do think they are more right-leaning than like a CNN or an NBC, but I don't think they are more as right-wing as some of the things that you can actually find out there that do remind me more of conservatism. Like I listen to Ben Shapiro a lot. I would consider him more of a conservative than a Republican, though, because there's a lot of people in the Republican Party that don't agree with him. Because I think a lot of people in the Republican Party aren't conservative, even though they think they are.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. So I'll go through this step by step. So the first part you brought up, I think, was about the Donald Trump fans being dangerous. So I totally get why you question Donald Trump fans, and I'm part of that. I question them too. But if you really think about this, it's not really about Donald Trump fans. It's a Republican thing, because even when Donald Trump was not there, even when they had the Tea Party and all that, they were having the same paranoid conspiracy theory, hatred for the left, and all that before Donald Trump was there. They're Donald Trump fans because we know them like that. But before they voted for Donald Trump, they were still Republicans doing these kind of things. So, for example, Glenn Beck.
Well, let me just impact that one first. We do know that the majority of people that voted for Obama, a lot of them actually did switch to Republican when Donald Trump went to office.
Right, they did, yeah.
During his second term. So I do know that there was a majority of Republicans that actually did vote Democrat prior to Donald Trump running, and they don't consider themselves Republican. I think it was more of a popularity contest with Trump.
Fair enough. But usually when people switch from Obama to Trump, these are not right-wing wackos. These are either independents or Democrats who just didn't like who was available on the left. But I'm not referring to them. The people who are in love with Trump and in love with the GOP and basically blame everything on the left and give the pass to the right, these are the actual Republicans who are mainstream in their party. It's not a Donald Trump thing. For example, Glenn Beck, a few years ago, I think it was 2009, he had some rally, some big rally. He was advertising on Fox News, a huge rally. And they were worried about the government interference and communism is coming and socialism and all the stuff that they're paranoid about. This was happening before Donald Trump was even trying to be president. So even though I understand why people labeled him as Donald Trump fans, and I've done it too, it's not really a Donald Trump fan thing. It's a Republican thing. This is how a lot of them are. I have no problem with conservatism or liberalism because it just depends on the country, it depends on the law, it depends on the rule and all that. But there's a difference between being conservative versus Barack Obama was born in Indonesia. This is just
Yeah.
wacky stuff.
Yeah.
Then the other part you brought up about just remind me. I'm sorry, man. What was it? You brought up a lot of other things. What was some of the other things you brought up?
I was basically saying, like, I really think there's mainly a what would be considered a Republican outlet when you think of like your staple media
Oh yeah, right.
outlets.
Right. Yeah. On the media thing, I'll tell you about that one. Fox News is no doubt AM radio on TV. If you ever listen to AM radio and how wacky it is, just anytime you want, anytime, any part of the day, any state, go find a Republican AM radio station. It doesn't matter what city, what state, what time, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's conspiracy theory, whack job, nuttiness, and all that. So even though Fox News and the media that you're describing is not as big and powerful, there's a flip side. AM radio is very powerful because when you're in your car and you're listening to the radio and you're getting the news, you want to get traffic and all that. After those commercial breaks and all that, you're going to get AM right wing wacko radio. Basically, if you ever listen to Sean Hannity on
I
Fox
mean,
News,
NPR's on AM too.
it is, yeah. I'm not saying all AM radio is like that, but what I'm saying is NPR and FM music and cooking shows and all that, that their influence to brainwashing people on politics is not like conservative AM radio. In other words, if you listen to Sean Hannity on Fox News and Tucker Carlson and Newsmax, all these guys, that's AM radio. So when Ann Coulter and Sean Hannity and Michael Savage and these guys say stupid things about the left, like here, these liberals, the libtards, well, they don't say libtards maybe, but a lot of people in the chat rooms do. And they say, here, Libby, 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 these kind of things. That's how it is on AM radio. I know this because I used to prank call them all the time. And I used to work at a radio station. You can literally go to on the internet right now, anytime you want to, find a Republican or conservative GOP AM radio program all day, every day. They are influencing a lot of people. I think a lot of Republicans get their information from there because no one's born thinking one way on politics. They're influenced. You got to be learning it from somewhere. And as you pointed out, it's not like there's a lot of things on the mainstream media from the right, but AM radio has been very powerful for years. Rush Limbaugh, I think, was one of the big starters, not the only guy, but he was one of the big guys. And people just copied him. In business, you copy people to make money. So I don't know if you listen to these shows. I have Dennis Prager, Mark Levin, Michael Savage. All these guys are right-wing wackos, man. Fox News, by the way, Fox News is very powerful. If you combine CNN, MSNBC, and all these left-wing stations, combine them, Fox News kills them in ratings. And also, CNN and MSNBC are not far left. Fox News is far right. You also have other places like Newsmax and other places.
So the biggest problem I have with all the news networks is probably the lack of journalism nowadays. But when it comes to some of the right wing wackos that people think of when you think of Fox, where I actually look to get their takes is when they're actually doing debates with other people, not on the Fox platform, because I feel like that's when you actually get a little bit of their ideas. The best interview I ever saw with Tucker Carlson was when he was actually interviewing somebody from he was doing a debate with somebody from the Young Turks, and they actually came to a lot of conclusions that they actually agreed on. And like if he was sitting in front of his platform on Fox, I feel like he would be presenting in a different way.
Yeah, there's no doubt they're doing it for the money. There's no doubt about it. Or they're insane or uneducated, I mean, I don't know what kind of a person would go, I'm going to make a news story to gin up something, to get people riled up and divide them so they can make money. And you see the evidence of people doing horrible things outside. And some of those people are learning from wacky places. I don't know how these people feel no guilt. Tucker Carlson has a new documentary series called Patriot Games or something like that. I don't know exactly what the name is. And a lot of people are questioning that for being a conspiracy theory, strange thing. But on Fox News, which is a mainstream network, a news network, people take these things as like legit news. Fox News, according to them, by the way, this is according to them, they went to court, I think, because of what happened with the Donald Trump, people claiming the election was rigged and all that. And according to their own testimony or whatever paperwork, they're saying that they're not just a news network; they're an entertainment company or something like that. So, is this a news network or an entertainment company? So
I feel like the majority of them right now are entertainment companies on both sides. I mean, CNN's getting a lot of backlash from their coverage of the Rittenhouse trial that I had brought up to you a couple times. I don't know if you ever got a chance to look into it. Even the new one that's in the news now, the Jussie Smollett trial that's going on, and that one hit a little bit more home for me because it was in Chicago. It was a very weird thing to happen. Do you know about the Jussie Smollett trial?
I heard about it, but I'm not an expert on these cases.
Basically, Jussie Smollett, he's an actor, and I believe he's on Empire or one of these shows. I'm not really sure which one it is. But he went to Subway one night at like 1 a.m. during it was freezing temperatures in Chicago at the time. Like you weren't supposed to be out for a long period of time because it was like over -20, and or lower than -20. And he claimed to be jumped by two Republicans wearing MAGA hats and says, "This is MAGA country." Like the whole story didn't make sense. And apparently they put a noose around his neck and poured bleach on him. And then he walked back to his apartment after getting this noose around his neck and walked back into his hotel room. There's a door person at his hotel, walks up to it, waits for the cops to get there, starts on his Subway sandwich that he brought back home with him, and still left the noose around his neck so that the cops could check it out when he got there. And it turns out there were two actors that he had hired that also worked on Empire, two Nigerian gentlemen that they claimed to be white right-wing Republicans. And I mean, just knowing Chicago and being in the suburbs of Chicago, there are no white guys telling any black person in Chicago that this is MAGA country, because Chicago is far from MAGA country. And you'd get your ass kicked really quick trying to go out and say that in Chicago.
Okay.
But basically, he got called out to be a fraud. They did interviews with him on CNN, NBC, where he cried and made up this whole thing, and they publicized it and went with the story, and they never retracted their stories afterwards when they found out that that wasn't true. The same thing with the Kyle Rittenhouse recently. CNN was reportedly going out telling people that Kyle Rittenhouse was going out shooting protesters, and like I just think the laziness of what was going on, like, and the fact that they never want to retract it. I get it that they're an entertainment thing, and I do see where they want to create a divide, but I just think it's dangerous sometimes. I really think it's dangerous to put any faith in any of these platforms, these media platforms.
Yeah, so no doubt these are entertainments, but they're also giving news. So what they're doing, they're towing the line where they're doing a little bit of both. They're entertaining you and they're giving you news. Now, having said all that, there is a difference between MSNBC and CNN reporting something and giving their opinion and making mistakes and trying to sensationalize things versus Fox News doing all that, but they're trying to gin up something way more than the other side, like CNN and MSNBC. I'm not saying those guys don't gin things up. I'm sure they do. I know they do. But Fox News tries to gin up something to the level of paranoia and conspiracy theory where it's like almost a hatred for the other side. And it really causes big division. Like, on Fox News, I don't know if you ever watched Comedy Central's The Daily Show.
I used to love The Daily Show. I watched it more with Jon Stewart. I don't watch with Trevor Noah anymore.
So you know
what Trevor Noah does.
Yeah, so then Jon Stewart used to point out on that show so many hypocrisies and contradictions with Fox News over and over. How they with one guy they would act one way with like a Democrat, then with a Republican they'll act another way. Fox News, it's like they'll just come up with anything just to gin up something, have a conspiracy theory, make people paranoid, and to get ratings. So Fox News is definitely worse than CNN and MSNBC, no doubt about it.
The biggest problem I see with Fox News is, and I think it's this rise in burn culture or trigger culture, whatever you want to call it, where they want to get these sound bites of you burning somebody with facts or knowledge or anything like that. Mm-hmm. You see it in the thumbnails on the internet. Ben Shapiro slams college kids because he's better at the debate platform than most of these people, and that's why I do think the burn culture is very detrimental to conversation. I think it's taking it the wrong way. You're not getting people to actually express their ideas. It's more like, oh, I got to get this line in, rather than actually try to find the middle ground with somebody. I don't know. That's the biggest thing I find, because there's a guy on there, something Waters is his last name, John Waters or Justin Waters, or I don't know what his last name is, but it's spelled with 2 T's, and that's basically what his
Jesse Waters.
Jesse, is that what it is?
Are you talking about the guy from Fox News?
Yeah, and
he has like a full set of hair and all that.
Yeah, he lives on burn culture. Like that's his thing. He wants to go interview
I'm
idiots.
guessing you're talking about Jesse Waters. That's my guess.
What's that?
No, I'm guessing you're talking about Jesse Waters. That's my guess.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly what. Well, he's the only one that I know with the last name Waters on there. It's spelled with 2 T's. No relation. I don't fucking like the guy. But yeah, no, I don't like anybody that rides on burn culture. I think it's dangerous, and I think because I'm more around the idea that I like the long format interviews with people and actually getting to know them and try to understand why they think the way they think, rather than my side's right, your side's wrong, and everybody's just getting dragged through the sand. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people do want the same solutions if they're not money based, but they just have different routes of getting there when it comes to political ideologies. But let me catch up the chat a little bit. Mudrabbit's having a little trouble with their connection, but when we were talking about sides, you can't generalize a whole side by a few crazies. I guess it's the same as the police argument too, though. They don't want you to label all police as bad for a few bad apples, if you will. Let's see. Oh, and Infinite's big into readings. He said, is Universe Galaxy a Virgo or a Taurus, 7th or 6th?
So actually, okay, so if we're going by, I found out some information. So in the horoscopes, the way they put it here, for example, in America, I'm a Taurus. But I found out when it comes to Indian astrology, I don't know if that's the right terminology, but astrology from India, I'm actually a Capricorn. So,
okay.
Well,
I feel like Western has it figured out a little bit more when it comes to most of those things. I feel like that was brought to Eastern over time.
Actually, no. Vedic astrology is much more older than Western, whatever happened in the West. So if I was going to go with one of them, I would rather go with the Indian.
I mean, it probably started in India, China, in that area, rather than started.
Okay. I thought you meant the other way. Okay, I think.
No, I said the directions wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So you're saying it probably started from there first compared to the West, then? Okay. Or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay.
No, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Leo or number 1. He Infinite Moi likes to associate the astrology and trying to figure out people's signs, and tries to I would consider it putting people in a box to define them, because he did it with me. But Galaxy, I'll let you open up a little bit, because Galaxy doesn't really give out his name or anything like that.
I was actually, it's funny. I was actually thinking, for some reason I forgot Jacob. Yeah, I was actually thinking that's probably one of the closest things I'll give to like personal information, like my horoscope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that you were. If you want to tell them kind of why you don't do that, because I had a couple of people asking me offline. Oh, he used to work for ESPN. Who is this guy? And can you give me a name? I'm like, well, he doesn't really give his name.
So okay. Here's the thing. Look, I actually have like a lot of pages on YouTube, and one of them you already know, the Universe Galaxy. When you have a really popular page, you got to be careful, because I'm not like famous like a guy who has 1 million subscribers. I'm not on that level, but I'm not someone who's just starting off on YouTube. So when you have a lot of people coming into your pages, but you're not like Tom Cruise, like famous level, you don't have security, living in Beverly Hills, and you have like $1 billion or whatever, you got to be careful. So I one of the reasons I don't give my personal information is safety. That's not the only reason, though. There are other reasons, but one of the biggest reasons, and actually, the main reason is it's a safety thing. I don't want people to have any information about me, like any personal information about me.
So once in a while, I'll give something like when someone asks you your height or your weight, or like right now, someone was asking about the astrology, things like that. But I'm not going to give them my personal information, like what's your age, what job do you have, what city are you in, and things like that.
Okay. And don't be modest. You have 35,000 plus subscribers.
I was trying to figure out
You
how
have a
can
pretty big page on YouTube.
Thank you. I was trying to figure out how can I explain it in a way where I can make my point, but without them thinking I'm bragging. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you don't. You don't come off as braggy.
Thanks. But honestly, compared to like the big time YouTubers, my page is still a small page.
Well, yeah, but like you've described it before, you are that next tier down from sports analysis, whether it's ESPN or something like that. You are kind of the next tier down.
I do think if you take out the top dogs like ESPN, Fox Sports, TNT, and all that, when it comes to amateur pages, NBA pages, I do think my NBA page is the number one most influential amateur NBA page.
Okay.
Yeah. But obviously there's other pages much more popular than mine, no doubt about it. But there's a lot of reasons why I don't give personal information. The main reason is a safety issue, but there's other reasons as well. But every once in a while, I'll give people certain information that's not like a big deal. Like again, if they ask you your height, your weight, right now, a little while ago, someone asked what's your they asked about astrology, things like that. But I'm not going to give them like what's your age, what city are you in, what's your job, and things like that.
Let's see, just catching up the chat a little bit. But yeah, no,
I'm not gonna lie, man. Divine Tiffany is one beautiful girl, man. Seriously, I mean, what? No matter what we do over to this,
she said she appreciated the compliment earlier.
Yeah, I think she wrote that earlier. No matter what we do the rest of this live stream, can we just all acknowledge that is one beautiful girl right there? So I hope. But by the way, I hope no one is taking this in a negative way. I mean that like nice,
it's a compliment. You're being respectful about it.
I mean that in a nice way, respectful way, kind way, and pleasant way.
No, if you actually got to know her, man, she's really good at what she does too. When it comes to pulling cards for people, I've never had somebody ever pull cards for me with tarot cards and actually be more spot on. Well, I mean, because I've always thought they were kind of vague, just like horoscopes. I thought it was kind of a vague thing that you could kind of classify yourself into a box. But for some reason, when she actually does it, it's really spot on for me, at least, and everybody that I've ever talked to.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah.
Let's see. And said,
yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Tiffany and Kathy XO. Just remember, your safe is good. Okay. Wait, no social security numbers, Galaxy.
Yeah, I know you wrote that.
Zachary, I don't know what comment got pulled. I didn't pull anything on my end. The only one I ever saw from you was if Michael McIntosh was president, I feel like he could fight extreme ideology due to his opposition to them. And that was the gentleman I had talked to you about before. Universes, the time traveler that I've had on my show.
Oh, is that him, the time traveler?
No, that Zachary Kim's a fan of him, and
okay.
McIntosh is his name's Michael McIntosh, and yeah, he does have some interesting political beliefs on what he would do if he became president.
Interesting.
Yeah. Timmy said, "That's sweet. I have no problem with kind words."
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. I know she wrote that. That's really nice of you.
But yeah,
what happened to the zombie Michael Jordan fans? I'm sorry. Maybe they're not zombies, but
Pesci might be hiding. Pesci is the one I was referring to. It's Sir Joseph Pesci. He's a big Michael Jordan fan. If there is any Michael Jordan, because I was going to try to hold the Michael Jordan towards the end, but there are a few.
Why don't you get some Gatorade bottle and just like put it on the camera or something?
I told him in the group chat that I was in. I said, everybody, go drink your Gatorade, get your Wheaties in. It's going to be a hell of a night. So they should be ready.
Nice.
Hello, Ace. Thank you for stopping in. And then I think another good one that we could get into next is how you feel about this is the one we were talking about before I had to run. Is oh no, not that one. the vegans and the consumption of meat and just what we kind of do in order to get this meat to people.
Right. So just a clarification, I'm not questioning just meat. It's anything that comes from an animal, anything. So it could be cheese, it could be ice cream, milk, anything that comes from an animal. If it's not necessary, then it's not necessary.
So you think there's because you kind of explained it differently when we were just talking about it. You said if it was a hunger thing, like where you actually needed the things, then you'd be okay with it. But
I would never tell.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but the gluttony that we kind of represent in the U.S., where everybody's just obese and they're just eating just because they're fucking bored, or they, like you were saying, that somebody eats a tub of ice cream because their girlfriend broke up with them. That's something you're never going to support.
Right. In order for people to understand this, you don't have to, but it helps if you know the details of what happens to them. A lot of people who disagree with people like me, some of them just don't care. Some of them don't want to know. Some of them are in denial. But a lot of people don't know the details. Like even myself, when I became vegetarian, and I'm the guy who stops eating meat, I didn't even know all the details. When I found out what they do, I couldn't believe this was allowed in any country, let alone a country like America. Like putting pigs in a gas chamber, hanging a cow upside down, slicing a neck while they're alive. These kind of things, like this is just like a horror movie gone psycho. Like it's already a horror movie, now it's a psycho. You can say horror movies are psycho anyway, but it's even more psycho. And for what purpose? So that people can have nachos and they can have burritos and they can have like a buffet, all you can eat buffet and things like that. If more people knew what happens, just know what happens, I cannot imagine most people saying, yeah, that pig screaming in the pain in the gas chamber, who cares? I want my pizza. Most people just don't know because they hide that shit really well. When you turn on the TV and you see on like, hey, come on down to KFC, 2 buckets for $9.99, and McDonald's, we got a special, 2 burgers for $4. And hey, happy Thanksgiving. We got a turkey for $1.49 a pound and all that. They are hiding the horrible misery and the death and suffering. Even the networks, a lot of these people on the left who claim to be animal lovers, or even on the right, they claim to be animal lovers. They're getting their advertising dollars from some of these animal food companies, and they hide it. Like the people don't want to know the truth. Just play the videos online over and over and over. Go read the statistics of what they do. For example, did anybody in the chat room, did you guys know they kill roughly 1 trillion with a T, not a not 1,000, not a million, not a billion, 1 trillion animals. It depends on who you ask, but roughly every month. That's more than all the humans on Earth, and that's more than all the humans who have ever been on Earth every month. So for all you pro-life people, there's a huge, massive contradiction when you force animals to be born and then you separate them from their families and you torture them and kill them. For what purpose? It's not even necessary. You can eat healthy, happily enjoy food, and have a great time without the suffering and misery and torture of death of animals. Just one last thing. If you met a guy from China, and don't worry, I won't do that Chinese accent. If you met a guy from China, all right, and you found out, what they do in China, right? They torture and kill dogs in China. You guys know this, don't you? If you don't, it's fine. If you were having a debate with them and you said, hey, don't torture and kill the pooches, you don't have to do this. And the Chinese guy told you, well, my ancestors ate them. It's normal because it's part of the culture. Well, plants feel pain too and all that. You would know the Chinese guy or girl is wrong. So apply the same logic to the other animals. You don't have to do it. It's also bad for the environment. It's also bad for your health in general. And it's also, you're not going to get as much value for your money. But the main thing is they are torturing and killing them. Go ahead, man.
But I was going to say, I generally think people want that disconnect. They don't want to know how their food's brought to them. I think they like living in ignorance about it. You can go online at any time and look at a YouTube video and see what's happening.
Right.
It's free. It's on the internet. You can check it out anytime. I mean, not everybody has access to the internet and stuff like that, but it's public knowledge. I think people like the disconnect because they don't actually have to deal with it. They don't have to deal with the emotional side of it, and that's why it's so hard for Americans to deal with the idea of dogs being used as animals. That's why I like that analogy. I told you before I had worked on a pig farm, and why it was so hard for me to do that. I only lasted about a week and a half. And then I also ended up making egg machines, egg placement machines at a factory where we built robotic machines. And I ended up having to go to a chicken farm. And that was the weirdest fucking thing because for the longest time I had this idea that free roaming chickens were happier than, caged chickens and all this other stuff.
Right.
And then I actually went to one of the farms and they were like, "Oh, no, 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 it's way different here." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And they were like, "If you have more than 7 of them together free roaming, they just start attacking each other because they're not used to this in nature. Like it doesn't happen where there's this kind of a hierarchy that they have to deal with. And so they start attacking each other for dominance. And the number that you put up with trillions being produced every month or killed every month for production, how much of that is just thrown away to garbage when you're thinking
Right.
of the buffets, the shit like that.
Right.
That's the hardest problem. And I do support the idea that we shouldn't support the factory farming, but I feel like if people did switch to hunting, I feel like it would be just as bad if we didn't substitute something.
Okay. So, oh, good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine.
Oh,
Because
thanks.
I just think I just think it would it would create a wrong side of hunting. 'Cause I don't think people are trained enough with guns. Should be running around with guns hunting or eliminating a species from society. The only other times I think it's okay to just go out and kill animals, which there are times where I can actually think it's okay when I see a species that's taking over another area of the U.S. Like when we think of like wild boars in Texas that are spreading like wildfire and killing other native species to the area and just eliminating them. Or if you think about humans releasing their pets in Florida and they're getting rid of all of the mammal wildlife in the area because they have these invasive species like pythons and boa constrictors that are thriving out in Florida. And I think iguanas were another big one that they were having people shoot all the time. But I do think it's justified in those cases. But the factory farming idea is never going to be universally accepted.
So I did say earlier that some people just don't want to know, or they want to be in denial. So you are right on that. One thing that you may want to consider: everyone knows that when they eat a carcass, it's a dead animal,
Mhm.
But here's the thing: that a couple things you may not realize. When people eat ice cream, they're not thinking the cow died. They're thinking, okay, it comes from milk. Milk comes from cow. They're not thinking the dairy industry is an extremely cruel industry. This is the dairy industry alone. This is not about eating cows. The milk, what they do with milk and cheese and ice cream, all that, they're very cruel. People have said this: the dairy industry is very cruel, and I'll say it again: the dairy industry is very cruel. So even if they know the animal dies, they don't know that when they get the eggs, that the chickens die, the cows die. They force the cows to get born so they can get milk. Some people know this, but no one really thinks about it. Like, how do they have so much milk available? How do they have so much ice cream available and cream cheese and all that? You have to have cows. Where do they get all these cows? It's not like one guy goes in the jungle and just says, "Howdy, cow, I'm gonna milk you today. See you tomorrow." No, you have to make them born to help to feed the whole population that takes these products. So at the end of the day, when you force them to be born, they don't know that, and they don't know they get killed. And then I'll give you another example: honey. When you buy honey, where does all that honey come from? Do you think there's a guy just going out in the jungle and just getting the bees from the honey, like Winnie the Pooh or something? You know what they do with all the bees when they're done? They gas them all. They gas all the bees alive and they kill them. Can you imagine if they got milk from dogs and then when they were done, they gassed all the dogs? How fucking horrible would that be? But because it's bees, some people don't know and some people don't care.
I feel like it depends on. I feel like it depends on how the bees are done because I know a lot of local people and they do use gas to make them, docile, so they can go in and take the honey. But then the bees will actually just regenerate and actually not regenerate, but they'll come back to and start rebuilding the honey in their combs. I don't know how they do it on large scale. I just know like local sized ones, local beekeepers.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I'm not an expert in every area, but obviously in large scale, to have this much honey available, Like, just think about when you go outside your house, all the fast food joints, all the Walmarts, all the grocery stores, all the places, gas stations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so that have animal products. To have that large supply available so easy, and then online, all these places where you can buy it, you have to have a system set up where we're like a factory that makes suitcases. You have to keep piling them on, keep bringing through, get them coming through. Let's keep making them so you can keep giving them to so much people who want to buy it. For them
Yeah.
to be that much available, you have to force them to get pregnant. You got to force the sperm out of them. You got to get the eggs from them. You got to force them to be born. They're creating a business off the suffering of species, and the species have no power to say stop. They can't say please don't do this. They can't fight you back. And they can try, but they're going to lose usually. They can't run away. There's nothing they can do. They have to be born. They have to stay in a cage. They have to be tortured, and they have to die. There's nothing they can do about it. They're going to have to sit there and take it. And the only way this can stop is if people stop it, stop giving them their money. And one of the reasons people won't do it is because they don't know all the details. Most people are not going to think the dairy industry is cruel. They may say, okay, I ate a steak, it came from a carcass. Okay, they know that, but they don't know about they don't think about the sperm being just forced out, the animal getting pregnant, the kid baby being separated, because if the baby stays with the mother, he'll drink the milk, and you guys need that for chocolate milk. You guys means whoever drinks it. And then also they don't know about the torturing, and then they don't even know they're all killed. Not everyone knows, like even vegetarians. A lot of vegans, they question vegetarians because they say vegetarians are hypocrites because they're saying, okay, you care about animals, but then you still eat products where the animals are tortured and killed. So a lot of people don't realize that even if you don't eat meat, if you eat anything that comes from an animal, you're giving your money to an industry that's torturing and killing them. So when you were saying how people are in denial and they don't want to know, I agree with you. They don't. But there's some people who just really genuinely don't know. They may not know about how they're killed, how they suffer when they're killed, like the gas chamber. How many people know that a pig dies in a gas chamber? Like, slowly. I think most people think, okay, if it's done humanely,
Pigs living in confinement is an actual gas chamber to humans.
oh, is
Like
that
the
right?
amount of methane that's produced in there, it's almost impossible to walk in.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, you get to get accommodated to it.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, so yeah, so not everyone knows how the animals are killed. Not everyone knows the forced pregnancy and the sperm being put out, the girl getting pregnant, the baby getting separated. Not everyone knows that even if you don't eat meat, but you just buy animal products, that the animals are being tortured and killed. A lot of people just don't know a lot of people don't know about the details. Even myself, man, I don't know all the details. So just think if a guy like me doesn't know all the details and I care about this, like meaning I try not to buy animal products. Think about the other people who are not mean people, but they buy animal products and they just don't know the details then because where are you going to find it? Like McDonald's is not going to tell you, Walmart's not going to tell you, the news stations who get the advertiser are not going to tell you. You have to do the research and find it yourself. The one good thing about one of the things that's good about the internet, eventually if you play enough videos on YouTube, you're going to come by some video that'll show you an animal suffering,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes down to the milk and the dairy thing, it's so much simpler for me than that. Of why I don't really eat milk and dairy that much is because what other animal in nature drinks milk from another animal?
That's a good point.
None. It's fucking weird. It makes sense that the cows want the milk from the mama cow. It makes sense that babies want milk from their mom, but I don't. And we've always pushed it as just like a nutrition thing for vitamin D and all this other stuff. It's like you could get vitamin D from a lot of other things.
Right. And again, as for everyone listening, I'm not against people eating meat or drinking milk. There's a difference between eating to survive. Like if you lived in the old days and you were out in the middle of a farm and you got a nice cow and you're loving to the cow and kind and the baby gets enough milk and you're not hurting it, I assume if you wanted to take some milk, the cow probably won't get mad. Okay. But that's not the same thing as, okay, let's force them to be born. Let's separate them. Let's torture them and kill them. So you can have ice cream, cookies and cream ice cream. It's not right. It's not logical. It's bad for your health. It's bad for the environment.
Ace had a question. He said, "Okay, what
Sorry,
about?"
I made a mistake.
personal
It's also a waste of money, and you don't get the same value for your money. Go ahead, man.
I was just going to catch up the chat a little bit. Ace was saying, "Oh, okay, what about personal harvest? If you're being ethical about it, like me catching fish to eat."
That's a good question. One of the ways you can understand if it's wrong or right, just put yourself in the other shoes of the other species or person. How would you feel if an animal was doing personal harvest to you? How would you feel if someone was, when you take the fish out, they're suffocating, right? So the equivalent of that would be, what if someone put your head in the water and was drowning you? So how many people in this country and in the world fish for fun? Oh yeah, when I fish, it just helps me relax. You know what? Hey boys, let's get together and go fishing. Hey, we're going on vacation tonight. Hey, you got a new fishing rod? Yeah, hey, let's try it out. Let's test it out. And some of them do catch and release. They just dick around with the fish. They just catch it and they put it back inside just to fuck with it or whatever. I mean, or they're having fun or something. So, you wouldn't like it if it happened to you, and you wouldn't like it if it happened to dogs. What if some Chinese people were being what you said was being natural harvest and humane, and they were drowning dogs? Can you imagine drowning dogs? Nobody would say it's okay, right? So why is it okay to take the fish out and make them suffer? Because you're stronger than them? Because they can't tell you to stop? Because because you have more power than them and all that? Just because you're a part of a species where you're smarter and you're stronger and you have the power and all that doesn't make it right to do something horrible. If aliens came to Earth and they were stronger than us and more powerful than us and smarter than us and all that, if they tortured and killed humans, it wouldn't make it right,
Yeah. No, I agree. People just, I mean, we would have a society that support cannibalism. You would almost think you would have to be living in a society that supports cannibalism in order for you to make that same argument,
Yeah.
Because
And by the way,
if
there's a
you're
I'm
against the
sorry.
eating of humans, I feel like you should be against the eating of any torturing any animal to get
Right.
sustenance.
Right. And that's another thing. A lot of people say they believe in God. I believe in God, by the way. I just don't understand how they can square that. Like they believe that we're all God's creatures, we're all on God's earth, and God wants love and compassion and kindness and respect. And then they support the torturing and killing of animals. And some of them call themselves animal lovers. Like, oh, I love animals. You ever go on YouTube, man, where you see these nice, cute animal videos like, oh, cute puppy. Oh, look at the cute duck. Oh, look at the cute little pigeon and all that. And people love these animals doing funny things like playing a piano and chasing its tail and, rolling around and all that. And then the same person will go eat an animal. Or the same person will go, give their money to an industry that tortures and kills animals. Or they'll go fish. Or they'll just do something that contradicts themselves for being an animal lover. They'll do something that causes torture and killing of an animal or animals. It's just such a contradiction. But a lot of people don't really think about it. Or some people do and they feel bad, but then they let it go. Or some people try to change. And some people do change then. Some people change.
And then Infinite said universe is definitely a 7 or a Taurus, maybe a 6. Said he loves and agrees. Pesci stopped in, said Goonies never die.
By the, can you explain that? What does that mean about the 7-6, 6-7?
I think he's trying to place the astrology thing still.
I know. I figured it had something to do with astrology, but do you know what it means? Like, what definition? What does it mean? What's the definition?
Yeah, if you can give us that Infinite, that would help us out. He knows it better than myself.
I saw he wrote that earlier. Yeah. Still no Michael Jordan fans, huh?
By the way, I decided after you told me to take back that comment about Ariel, I decided that Divine Tiffany would be much more suitable for the character. Oh yeah, I just don't talk about that Ariel girl. I'm fine if she wants to pop in and be friendly. I just don't. I don't support the drama that comes with her. Nothing personal. Let's see here. I'm allergic to bees, but I love all the animals. What was that?
I was saying no Michael Jordan fans, by the way. So,
oh no, not yet. If there are any Michael Jordan fans, feel free. The link's in the description, and you guys can hop in. I got one guest waiting. I'm just going to catch up the chat here and then let him on with us.
Oh, cool.
Let's see.
Man, that girl, I'm telling you, man,
Divine Tiffany, man. I'm telling you, I mean, seriously, that is one beautiful girl, man. Divine Tiffany, I know some girls don't like it when guys are like too nice and too lovey-dovey and too romantic and all that. But I just gotta let you know again, you are one beautiful, pretty, gorgeous model type of girl. Anyway.
And she said, poor animals. I even feel bad if I swat a fly. And Ace said, okay, time out. Honestly, if everyone went on a non-animal products, there would not be enough products to feed anyone. It's just unrealistic, not to mention the amount of GMOs you would need to even try.
Can I address that real quickly?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks. A couple of things you want to consider, man. I'm going to give you a country. All right, India. Now, India has a lot of middle class, a lot of rich people, no doubt about it. So if anyone's Indian, please don't get offended. But there's a lot of poverty in India. I'm talking not American poor, Indian, third world country poor. A lot of poverty. India has the highest number of vegetarians in the world. The highest number. If a poor country, I'm sorry, it's not a poor country, but if lots of poor people in a country like India, which has over 1 billion people, all right, and they got resources can be an issue, and there are a lot of really like they're hungry. A lot of people are very poor, they're homeless, and all that. If a lot of these people can be vegetarian, I'm pretty sure a rich country like America, which has resources, food, lots of land, and all that, can be vegetarian, even if you can't be vegan. I was telling Jacob Waters this on my page. Do something. If you can't be a vegan, be a vegetarian. If you can't be a vegetarian, try not to buy all these animal products. If you can't do that, buy less. Do something. But a lot of people, what they'll say is, they'll say, okay, you know what? It can't be done. I don't feel like it. I don't care, whatever. And they don't do anything. I mean, just being vegetarian alone, I don't care what your take is. That is such an easy thing to do. If you want to eat burritos, nachos, tacos, and all that shit, you can totally eat all that and be vegetarian. You can eat ice cream, you can eat cream cheese, chips, and all that stuff. You don't have to give up that much. You don't need to have a plate with a carcass and bones and flesh and guts. So being a vegetarian is so easy, and once you do that, it's even easier to be vegan. Honestly, for everyone listening, being vegan is not hard. You just have to know what to do and have some practice, or not practice. You have to get used to it, and then remind yourself what's going on with animals and all that. But being vegan is not hard. But being vegetarian, if you think being vegan is hard, being vegetarian is that's even easier. And again, if you can't do that, buy less things that come from an animal. And if you can't do that, buy less quantity of things that come from an animal. And then you said he was saying something about how it can't be done because, did he say there wasn't enough resources?
Unrealistic. And he had to add a great amount of GMOs.
Yeah, the Earth, man, has given so much food for like a whole population to survive. There's so much food on this Earth. If you're worried about lack of resources, when they have these factory farms, a lot of cows eat more than humans. So to have all these factory farms, the pigs, the chickens, the turkeys, all of it, you have to feed them, and you have to give them water, and you have to give land for them. All that could be used for humans. You could be taking that same stuff, giving the food, the water. I mean, you're not going to ask humans to eat cow food, but my point is, you can take the same resources, the same land, the same water, and some of the food, I guess, and give it to humans. Humans can easily survive. Easily. I mean, listen, if you met a guy from China and the guy tells you, hey, it can't be done, we need to eat dogs, that wouldn't make sense. You can survive without dogs. So if you can survive without dogs, you can survive without chickens, cows, turkeys, and all that. When I say without them, what I mean is you don't have to eat them or buy or eat stuff that comes from them.
Do you know what vegetable or fruit consumes the most water by size and would be detrimental to actually grow on a large scale?
Oh, what's that?
Avocados.
Oh, I think you told me that before, I think.
Yeah, avocados are the most... because everybody thinks it's super easy to grow things. So being in the Midwest, there's something they do called cycling on the fields and stuff out here in order to replenish what you're taking from the soil. So some years they'll grow like corn, and then they'll have to actually alternate into soybean the next year. And then the breakdown actually adds nutrients back into the soil. And then plus all of the things from Monsanto that they give you to make everything bug resistant and stuff like that. I do really think we need to get to growing things a more natural way, because I do think it can get actually just as bad with vegetables when it comes to how much you're actually killing. You can wipe out whole species with some of the stuff that what they do when it comes to spraying plants on a large scale, while like farming in the Midwest.
Hmm.
I think some of that can be really dangerous. I don't know. I think it's like, my biggest argument is usually wheat, and I know it's all financially based, because like if you think about how long it used to take wheat to get to harvest, we rushed the process and turned it into a 6 month process, and we applied the spray so that it would become grainable faster, and then we could actually get more produce in that short period of time. And so what we were doing is all of a sudden we look in history, and now we're coming up with these like gluten allergies and stuff like that. And I think it's associated to the way that we are actually producing these things.
You could be right. Even the coronavirus, they say, I think started from an animal or something like that.
That's that's still apparently a mystery, and something that's actually something I got a community guideline strike for talking about.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's so. Let me preference. I'm not a scientist. We're just speculating on some of these things. I'm not an
Yeah,
expert.
YouTube, if you're listening, we love you. Please do not delete his page. YouTube is nice. YouTube is amazing.
Yeah. But no, I started to think Ace was kind of a troll, because then he comes back with, "Who said we're against eating humans?" I'm like, okay, well, never mind. You're not really worried about the meat argument. Hey, Joe's Candles, thank you for stopping in.
Soylent Green. That's an old movie where they were making out of people.
What is it? Soylent Green?
There's some old horror movie. I didn't see the movie, I think, but there's some part like they were eating some stuff, and the guy goes, "It's made of people," or something like that.
Well, and that was the old Alien movie, when they came down, and eventually they had this like cookbook for preparing humans.
Are you talking about Soylent Green or something else?
I'm not sure what
There was
sci-fi
Twilight
movie
Zone.
it was.
Twilight Zone. Well, it might have been a movie, but I think the story originally, or maybe it was not originally, but one of the first places that had it was the Twilight Zone. Aliens came to Earth and they wanted the humans to go to their planet. Hey, come over, visit our planet. But what happened was they were trying to they were going to take the humans to go eat them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty familiar. That sounds very similar to what I was thinking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But Ace, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it. Ace also said you'd need 31.9 billion pounds of food per day to feed everyone on Earth. I think it also has to do with a lot of our transportation. Like, if you thought about, we were just talking about the amounts of food that we throw away, and that doesn't even make it to anybody's table.
Right. By the way, Ace, one of the things that frustrates a lot of vegans when they debate people who are not vegan is a lot of people who defend it, they don't give arguments about why it's okay. They find ways to win the argument. So, for example, Ace doesn't eat meat because if he doesn't, the world won't have enough food. That has nothing to do with why he eats meat or ice cream or eggs or whatever. He just eats it because he wants to. But what he's doing, he's not saying why it's okay. He's just saying, hey, look, we can't do it because there's not enough. So he's trying to find a way to win the argument. That's not the same thing. If he had if there was a legit problem, like, hey, we can't feed the world and I don't want to cause problems for the world and I want to leave that food for other people, I'll eat meat. Okay, that's legit. But if he's going to eat this stuff anyway because he wants to, it has nothing to do with there's not enough for the rest of the world. But he's bringing that up just to win the argument then. And even if he does it, he's still not going to win the argument because there's plenty of food on Earth to go around for lots of people.
Yeah, we're throwing away trillions of animals. Like, if you're thinking about it on the large scale, we're throwing up trillions and trillions of animals away a year.
Right. I mean, again, to these factory farms, to feed that many animals, you need land, you need food, you need water, and things like that. That land, food, water, and all that can go for the humans. Now, I'm not saying humans can eat all the animal food, but some of the food I assume can be cooked for humans. And even if not, whatever food they're growing for the animals, they can grow food for humans.
Zachary Kim wanted me to get back to his question. He said, I felt Divine Tiffany was more suitable as Ariel the Mermaid. He was making this equivalency to my guests on my show and relating them all to cartoon characters. And he had a bunch from Thomas the Train, or I think it was Thomas the Train. and yeah, he replaced a girl that used to be on there. Her name was Ariel, and she called herself like the wrestling mermaid, and he replaced Tiffany as being the mermaid now. But he says that 11.5 trillion pounds of food per year. That's an average of 4 pounds per day. So you think a family needs 4 pounds a day, or you think one human needs like I don't? I guess I don't understand.
Can you imagine you're debating a Chinese guy again? Chinese guy is trying to justify the torture and killing of dogs, and you tell him, "Hey, you don't have to torture and kill dogs," and he goes, "Well, we need to do it because humans need about 4 pounds of food a day or something." What kind of lot? It doesn't make any sense. You don't have to torture and kill dogs. You can still feed humans in other ways.
Yeah, I mean, and me and you actually had this discussion a little bit before too. Like you were telling me that quinoa by price is actually more efficient.
Right. Yeah. I just ate some quinoa now. It tastes great. I'm not like a lot of people think if you're vegan, right? Which, by the way, I'm not vegan for the record. But if a lot of people think if you're vegan, oh, you must eat or even vegetarian, you must eat tomatoes and lettuce and bananas and things like that. You could eat tons of tasty junk, like great food. You can put oil, salt, make it tasty, make it in a way you could make it junk food, but it's more, when it's natural plant food. It's not junk food. But anyway.
Is quinoa kind of like onions, where it just kind of takes the flavor of whatever it's around, or
it's like a rice?
Okay.
So rice, you can make it in different ways. You can mix different things, put in whatever you want. Quinoa, you cook it the same way. It kind of looks the same. I actually mix in some rice too. It fills me up. I don't feel like I'm eating just like lettuce. It fills me up. It tastes great. It's warm. I put in other things. I cook it the way I like to. It's healthy for you. It's considered a superfood by medical definition. It has so many benefits. So many. I think the Native Americans, I think they were the ones who were using it a long time ago or something like that. But anyway, you get a lot for your money. It'll last a long time. If anyone out there is a right-wing wacko who's worried about the government coming after you, if you want to stockpile up on food and all that, I highly recommend to stockpile up on quinoa. I never get tired of it. I eat it almost every day. And you can make it. By the way, if whatever you like to cook it the way you want. So if you buy quinoa and you don't like it, remember there's different kinds. So buy the kind that you like and cook it the way you want to cook it. Now I don't mean put it in a cow's head, but cook it with whatever like natural good things you want to use, like whatever salt, vinegar, oil, things like that.
Hey Andre, made it back.
Or even lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and all that.
Yeah. Hey Jacob, how are you?
Not too bad. Did you have any questions, or do you want to jump in on the topic with us?
What are we talking about?
Right now, we were talking about factory farming, and we were talking about getting people off of factory farming and more towards a more sustainable food source, really.
And we're hoping a Michael Jordan phone calls in as well.
Are you a fan of Michael Jordan?
Jacob, I only play.
Oh yeah, you're only a football player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking we're also hoping for Michael Jordan fans to call in.
I apologize. I said football. I meant soccer ball.
Jacob. How are you? Universal Galaxy.
Hey, I'm doing great. Universal Galaxy, doing great. Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. How you doing? How you doing? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice.
Andre gets a little nervous, so if there's a little bit of pause, he's just working his way through it. But this is like his fourth time on the internet. He's pretty good.
It's all good. No worries. It's all good. No worries.
Either that or it's the internet that is lagging.
Yeah, no, that was happening the other day. It looks like you're coming in pretty clear today, though.
Sorry?
Let's see.
Hey, by the way, if you don't mind me asking, Jacob, did you block someone?
Okay, so I was actually going to tell you about this. This happened in your chat earlier. There's this new thing I've seen going around. What they do is they share. It's like usually Vox, FYI, or it's some form of letters, dot, and then something else. They're just links to porn sites.
Oh, okay.
And what I've noticed is every single one of them is actually a girl's name. You said hi to her earlier in your chat, and she said something like something weird dot something else, but they're always girls' names. Like the one I just blocked was Deborah. I've never seen a guy's name come up and do it. And if you type them in, you can't actually click on them like a link. You actually have to type them in. But yeah, they all just go to porn sites.
Oh, when you said I said hi to her in my chat, this must have been some past not
Earlier
today, right? Some other day or some other week.
Yeah, earlier today.
Today?
Yeah, today.
I didn't. I didn't block anyone. So you mean like
No, you didn't block them.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just-
yeah, right. They put some
That's why
porn
I
stuff
blocked.
on. I don't remember anyone. I must have missed it. Then I don't remember anyone typing any porn link or anything today. I don't remember.
It doesn't look like a porn link. That's why it's so weird. Like it doesn't come up like a link or anything else. But as soon as you type it into something, it takes you to a porn site.
And the
it
person.
comes up in 6 letters.
Okay, and the person who came on my live stream, was it a girl's name?
Yeah, I think it was in April or something like that. I think it started with an A because I remember watching you reading it.
Well, no. So if you saw it happen, it happened. It must have been some other name because I don't remember any girl's name coming into my live stream today. But it must have been some other name then. But wow.
You
Okay,
can come onto the live stream just in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
chat. I mean, that's what I'm referring to. Yeah, chat room. Yeah. But okay, I think I know what you're referring to, like a general thing about some porn. I know I get porn people posting porn stuff. The part that you're explaining about how they put some symbols and all that, I think I know what you're referring to because in the past, some other time or times, something like that happened. I think
Yeah, but it's been starting to spread around our little community with a couple of the other channels I work with too. And yeah, Tiffany was dealing with it. You birds attacking again, Andre?
Well, yeah.
We were worried about you the other day. We thought you got scooped up by your wild
I
birds
heard.
flying through the house.
I heard. We watched the live stream.
Speaking of that, I bet you hear my whistle blowing when my train rolls in. It goes like dust in the wind.
How are you gonna quote? You hate right-wing people, but you're gonna quote.
Now, what was that? Say it again. What was that?
What was that?
I missed it. You said, "How are you going to quote somebody?" But you're going to quote.
Yeah, he's one of the most right-wing artists I can think of.
Oh, is he really a right-wing wacko? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he was promoting for Trump during the last elections. Kid Rock.
Oh, okay.
Kid Rock's a diehard.
I knew he might have been a conservative guy or something. I wasn't sure though, but I didn't really think about it. I know he's a religious guy, which is okay, obviously. But I didn't know he was like a Trump supporter. If I did, I forgot. But I didn't know he was like a right. Is he a right-wing wacko guy?
I don't know if he's wacko. I like his music. I like Cowboy. I like that song that you were just referring to.
I brought that up because your guest was going over birds and all that, and then I think he made some bird sound. So I just
he's got birds flying through his house right now.
Or that too, yeah. He had some actual birds. Yeah. Or maybe he didn't make the sound. It was the birds flying through. Then maybe it was both. But anyway, I thought about the song.
We have two birds.
That part where it goes, like dust in the wind. So I just brought that up.
No, I knew what you meant. Zachary said, so I placed Michael McIntosh as Thomas the Tank, Michael Pena, who you've got to meet, Universe Galaxy. He's James the Red Engine. Herman the Great was in here earlier. He's the Green Engine. And Rocco Fowler is Bob the Tomato. All right. That's interesting.
Which was the guy that I met? Where did I meet him?
You met him with me last time you came on to onto the channel. He was
on your page. On your page.
Yeah.
Okay. This was a long time ago.
Yeah. It was a few months back.
Obviously, I came on your page one time, right?
Yep, one time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, nice. What was his name again? What was his name?
His name's Michael Pena, and it was coming up as he usually has his name in as the Pena Perspective.
Okay, the name seems familiar.
Yeah, because I told you I had said Michael one time when we were doing the interview, and I thought you had answered when I said that, and I had asked you about if that might have been your name because I was confused, but yeah, but I was actually referring to him when we were talking. Hello, Mark Rebel Games. Thanks for stopping in. I'm glad you like the haircut. Thank you, West Haven, for sharing. I appreciate it. Hello. The same troll. Oh yeah, she's talking about those girls' names that write those things. Yeah, I don't understand why it's going around. Let's talk about what? Incels? What are incels? I don't know what incels are, Ace. You have to give me a little bit more than that. And then he's talking about Kid Rock. He said, hell yeah, he's right wing like me.
I saw him with that.
Oh.
His wife, by the way, Pamela Anderson, I think is vegetarian or vegan.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She was one of the people that got that PETA kind of attacked her for a while for wearing minks or something, or wearing furs.
Oh, okay.
And then she eventually went full vegan. That's
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
So Andre, what's going on tonight, man? Did you have any questions? Because all I can hear is the birds.
Yeah. I do have. Well, we can talk about certain other topics.
Like what? What was on your mind?
Maybe we can talk about UFOs, aliens, time travel. You know.
UFO, aliens, and time travel. I don't
Maybe.
know how Universe Galaxy feels about those topics. What do you
Okay.
think?
I meet
I know-
aliens on my program all the time. They're known as Michael Jordan fans.
Sorry.
He said the only aliens he has on his channel are Michael Jordan fans.
No. I was saying I meet aliens all the time on my program. They're known as Michael Jordan fans.
Right.
Oh.
I'm joking. No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, I love learning about the universe and astronomy and the possibility of aliens and all that.
Yeah. Let's just talk about everything. How about that? Just whatever comes to our mind. You know.
Okay, that works. And like I said earlier, guys, to everybody that's in the chat, the invitation is still open. Anybody that thinks Michael Jordan is the GOAT is more than welcome to come on while we're floating through the rest of these topics.
You know what you should do, man, if you want to consider, Jacob, just to consider, put it on your screen, because what if someone comes on your page and they don't know that you can call in, or they don't know how, but if it says it on the screen, they're like, oh yeah, you click the link in the description section, you know?
Oh yeah, I do have it down in the description section.
You notice some people,
in case you don't see it, I'll get a banner going.
Some people, for whatever reason, I don't blame them. They don't even check sometimes, which is okay. But I'm not saying you have to do it. Obviously, it's obviously up to you. But if you put it on the screen, maybe more likely someone will know about it, and maybe more likely they'll call them, or more than one person might. Or more likely, maybe more than one person knows about it, and maybe more likely more than one person calls in. How many people are here, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
Right now, it's only showing me 7 on my end.
Oh, okay.
I can never really tell.
All right, that number is probably not reliable.
Yeah.
I guess no Michael Jordan fans calling in, huh?
Feel free to call in if you are a Michael Jordan fan or you think Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
Oh, you don't want to let them know to call in even for other topics? So what if someone else wants to call in, but they think, oh, only Michael Jordan fans can call in?
Well, because of what I wanted to go over with you is, I think you are still in the standings that Michael Jordan isn't even top 20 of all time.
Yeah.
And that's really what I wanted to dive into with you as well.
All right. Yeah.
Mark said I would come on and talk about Michael Jordan because he is the GOAT to me, but I do know all the facts, but who else could fly like Mike? I do not know all the facts. You're more than welcome to come on, Mark. We'd be happy to have you on.
Yeah, lots of people could fly like Mike, man. Probably some could fly better, you know?
CMG, thank you for coming in.
And what's up, CMG?
Hello there. Hello there.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Oh, he's talking to the other guy.
I'm more interested in who says there's going to be a 10.5 earthquake. I heard that on Marfoogle News the other day, and I heard something else about it today, that in Washington they actually shut down the emergency services, according to Marfoogle News. I don't know. Marfoogle is very much a fear-based channel on YouTube. I really do think he is trying to scare people into following him sometimes.
Is he popular? Is he popular on YouTube?
Marfugal News is very, very big page on YouTube.
Man,
Do you
dude,
remember?
I'm surprised, man, how many people believe in conspiracy theories. Like, I don't know, like when you were growing up, man, did you feel like lots of people believed in conspiracy theories? I'm not saying the majority do, but it seems like a lot of people believe in at least one or more conspiracy theories.
I mean, I grew up around them. I mean, I think we like as like the little ones that I found in the library at school were like the Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot, or like things like that. I don't think they were necessarily like the government's after you the way that the conspiracy theories are now. I think they've definitely evolved into something more.
You do know that time traveler Michael Phillips said about that 10.2 magnitude earthquake. In fact, I was talking to a supposed time traveler, like a few hours ago, or like yes, actually it was yesterday. But I wish I would have known about it when I was talking to Michael McIntosh, but I just found out after we were done talking to Michael McIntosh. He said that 10.2 earthquake will happen in January. It's going to happen next month.
Yeah, he said
So
January 2022.
yes, in January. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
it
so that
happens,
was what everybody's prediction was, and that's what Zachary Kim was saying about what you were just saying. Michael Phillips said about a 10.2 earthquake in California next year, and then Michael McIntosh was even speculating on what fault line he thought it might fall on.
yeah, man, I was so nervous when I was talking to Michael McIntosh.
And then CMG said, "I don't think the Andreas fault is capable of going over 8.5. I don't even think it's recorded over 10. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess we're yet to see anything. I think it's all speculation until I see some evidence come from it. I mean, I would have to really see a big earthquake happen for me to believe those guys about those predictions.
You know, if
Yeah,
an
but like,
earthquake happens on Mars, it's called a Marsquake, I think.
yep, that's true.
Oh
But
yeah,
like, is it strange how like that time traveler Michael Phillips back in 2018, uh, back in 2018, he said that there's going to be a 10.2 in 2022. So, and now everyone is talking about it. So that was like extremely, ex, ex, extremely strange how it was how he
Mhm.
said that. So what do you guys think about it?
what do I think about what?
The 10.2?
I like I said, I gotta see it happen first.
Yeah,
I'm glad I don't live out there. I mean, but
yeah, same.
I think that's the biggest problem with most of society is we think it's a very good idea to live on the coastlines around the U.S. and all of the flyover states that everybody
Well,
likes to call them. There's so much land. It would be so much more intelligent and actually stop. God, stupid spending if we just all lived in all over the U.S. and actually spread out where we lived. Instead, we like to live like rats packed on top of each other. And just like
well,
factory farming or anything else, when you have these large populations of people, you have a higher number of people with insanity, crazy
well,
tendencies, more crime. Like it's a bad idea. I don't understand why people want to live in like Florida, and they're literally below the sea level. Like it just takes one wave to start crashing into houses, but yet
yeah,
they want to live there and build there every year. I don't get it.
yeah. Even yeah, even Michael Phillips said that Florida, Florida is underwater. And
I mean, it's under the sea level. Like certain parts of Florida are below sea level.
what?
You know, if you think
Yeah.
about it, man, no matter where you go, like you're gonna have a problem, right? Like let's say you go to like California, you gotta deal with earthquakes, the big one maybe. Well, God forbid any earthquake, God forbid the big one. If you go to the East Coast, you got like fucking hurricanes. You go to the Midwest, you get tornadoes. You go to like the north, like you get extreme cold. You go to like the desert, extreme hot. You go to like the mountain ranges, you gotta deal with any place that's in the middle of nowhere. What you gotta deal with you gotta deal with wild animals. And then even if you find a way to get out of like stay away from all that, then you got sinkholes. The ground just disappears and everything goes down there.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's scary, you know.
It
Hopefully
is.
nothing negative happens to
scary.
anyone.
Well, I see it all the time. But yeah, with the natural disasters, they're all over the place. And then if you think about what's actually going on with the warming of our planet, it's very easy to see that that you could expect these natural disasters to get bigger over time. But like where I'm located in the Midwest, tornadoes actually don't hit where we're at because the ground surrounding me is higher. So what'll happen is tornadoes actually go up and dissipate over the place that I'm at. We haven't had a tornado hit here in so long.
What about sinkholes?
Sinkholes? I actually haven't come across any sinkholes. I know there. I think you have to go a little bit farther south from where I'm at. I think when you get into more underground tunnel systems, when you're talking to like Kentucky, like you can find a lot of caverns and stuff in Kentucky. I feel like that's where you're going to develop sinkholes more.
Okay.
It just depends on the geological
sinkholes.
location.
Okay. For some reason, I thought I'm not an expert on sinkholes. I just thought that it could happen wherever there's land. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it could be, and then not knowing what's under you as well.
Oh, that's scary, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's all scary, you know.
Yeah, the whole thing is terrifying. Yeah. When did do you guys remember Hurricane Katrina? Yeah. When did that happen?
I want to say around was it 08, 09? Was that when? I would have to look it up to get it exactly right. Let me see here.
It happened in Florida.
When did Hurricane Katrina happen? Um, 2005, from August 23rd to August 31st.
Yeah. When we were back in when me and my family was living in Florida, we went through Hurricane Katrina. Actually,
Were you guys one of the people that wanted to like wait it out? Were you guys just like waiting around for it to hit, or did you guys like go when they told people to evacuate?
Well, I can't really remember as much, but the reason why I know is because my family told me and my brother remember the whole thing, and he was like my brother. He was like 5, and I was like, how old was I? I was born in 2002. I was about 3 years old when it happened. So
Oh, okay. So you don't remember what the plans were. I gotcha.
yeah, that's really young.
Let's see here. Well, Universe, I wanted to get on a couple other topics with you.
I guess I'll be right back.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Okay, no problem. Let's see here. I wanted to do the one that like I think we disagree on the most now, and then I really want to get a Michael Jordan fan on here too before we go. But the other one I wanted to touch with is these age of consent, or that. How do you phrase the question?
Basically it's 2 parts. One, it's normal to be attracted to a young, beautiful girl, and 2,
whatever you do think, you agree, you disagree, it depends and all that. I ask people, just if you want to be fair, be consistent. So, for example, if you want to go by the law, then you got to question some of the laws the way they are today. If you want to say, well, it depends on the age, well, then you have to show me when, how do you know what age? Show me the proof where, factually. Then also, what about your religion? Then also, if do you apply the same logic to if a guy's under 18, he plays in the NBA? Or if a girl's a supermodel, or if they have a job, drive a car, wear makeup, have a boyfriend, have sex. And I could give you more examples, but you get the point.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you and see if I can kind of pick your brain a little bit more. What do you think would be a better established universal thing? Do you think there should be an age set, or do you think it's based on person, or how do you think it? How do you think what's defined as an adult should be established?
Great. So if they
Because
if
using the religious example, I would use something like when somebody has their bar mitzvah, they're considered an adult. I do consider that like an acceptance time where they now consider you an adult in that religion.
Okay. So then if you're a religious person and you go by your religion, I respect that. If you're a scientific person and you go by science, I respect that. What I don't respect is when people cherry pick and they selectively pick and choose when they want to go by it and when they don't. So for example, they'll go, if someone has sex, they're an innocent child, they don't know what they're doing. But if they kill someone, let's trial them as an adult. Or they'll
Yeah.
say, like in Texas, I gave this example on my show. In Texas, there was a guy, he didn't even have sex with the girl. She was 17. All right. In Texas, 17 is legal. It's legal to have sex with her, but he didn't have sex. But you know what he did that was illegal? She sent him naked pictures. That was illegal. Like these laws don't make any sense. I'll give you another example. If you say they're children, okay, they're children.
Just with that first topic,
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
the 17,
Yeah.
does it matter how old the other person is to you
Not
in that argument?
according to the law, or for me personally.
For you personally?
Yeah, for me personally, as a human being, I wouldn't recommend like a 99-year-old go out with someone 18, right? But if
Yeah.
a 99-year-old can go out with someone who's 18, why can't a 99-year-old go out with someone who's 17? What's the difference?
Yeah, yeah. No, I see what you're saying, because if 17 or 18 shouldn't be the judgment if you're not going by science. You're just going by like I think we can both agree on it. The number that's placed is a fictitious number. It's just meant to be set there. It doesn't
Right,
really
right. If a guy in high school is
add any
checking,
merit.
if a senior in high school is a football player, he's 6'2", he shaves, he has sex and all that. If he's checking out the girls in his high school, that's not going to biologically change when he graduates. It is normal to be attracted to beautiful girls, whether they're the same age or older than you or younger than you. Once you no longer look like a child, it is normal to be attracted to her. Now, if you're a child, that's pedophilia. That's disgusting, nasty, and wrong. But if you don't look like a child, you look like a developed woman, it's normal to be attracted to her. Why punish people for being normal? If he rapes her or abuses her or uses her like, hey, like he gets her drunk and has sex and all that, anything like that, that's wrong. But if they decide to be together, where's the victim? What's the crime? What do they do wrong? Why are they punishing innocent people for being normal? If a gay guy if an 18-year-old gay guy can have sex with an 18-year-old gay guy, okay, gay guys, why can't an 18-year-old straight guy be with a 17-year-old straight girl? It does not make sense then.
Yeah. No, and so I do think the fictitious number thing is kind of weird, and well, it's not even, it's more than weird. It's just pointless. Especially when you're talking about driving, you're talking about voting, you're talking about drinking or going to the army. There's all these different categories for what's considered an adult, and until you can at least get it to a universal standard on that, how can you make judgments on all the other things that are considered minor activities?
Right. A lot of people
Or
don't even
adult
look up. A lot of people call each other, like I see this shit all the time. You ever turn on the news, man? You turn on the news, a local guy was a predator today, and a pedophile came in a neighborhood and he molested her and child abuse. I'm not saying those things don't happen; they do. But go do the research. I did some digging. A lot of times when there's an article or a news story about someone being a predator and molesting and abusing all that, did you know a lot of times those things didn't actually happen? What ended up happening was under the law, it's considered molestation. So, for example, let's say they had a law that said no one is an adult at 18. Everyone who's 18 is a child. Well, if you have sex with an 18-year-old, that's abuse. That's molestation. Children cannot have sex. So, if someone has sex with an 18-year-old, they go, "Oh, someone molested a child." Or if they have a naked picture, "Oh, they have child pornography," or they abused her or something. No, it's not. Those things didn't actually happen. They just did something that the law thought was a molestation or being a predator or whatever, being a pedophile or something. Now, when they do happen, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. But a lot of times they didn't happen. They just report it that way because, again, under the law, they're children, and you can't have sex with children because they're not old enough or mature enough to consent. So it's considered molestation and things like that. And we have some Michael Jordan fans here.
showing up. What does it say?
Are they calling in?
Michael Jordan fan. Don't be a hater. I don't want to haze a Michael Jordan fan. Usually when it comes to Michael Jordan fans, they're usually throwing clout on other players. I feel like that's the biggest argument about this whole thing is they're not giving credit to players that are actually better than this player. And
that's part of it.
I mean, that's where the hate's coming from is the players that are actually ranked higher than him or, I mean, accomplished more than him should get the same recognition that he's getting.
Yeah, Michael Jordan fans are the worst NBA fans.
But yeah, Pesci, you're more than welcome to join if you think MJ's the GOAT. I know he's probably getting his Chicago gear on right now.
let me try to get them in the mood in case. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jordan. You mind if I give these topics out, man?
Oh yeah, you're always welcome.
Thank you, man. Michael Jordan is not the number one NBA player of all time. There's lots of people better than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan fans are the worst NBA fans. Then Michael Jordan is the most. He is the only overrated NBA Hall of Famer of all time. And even if you think there's other Hall of Famers who are overrated in the NBA, like even if you think there's other NBA Hall of Famers who are overrated, then Michael Jordan is the most overrated NBA Hall of Famer of all time. I also think Michael Jordan is the most overrated sports star in the history of mankind. And I'm not sure if Michael Jordan should be on the NBA top 75 list then. So there you go.
You said top 75 list?
Yeah, the NBA recently put out a top 75 list, and I'm not sure if he should be on that.
Okay, so this is where I might disagree with you a little bit. I do think he's at least a top 30 player of all time.
All right.
Man, I don't know how he would be that low. I have trouble picking that many people that are higher. I'm not saying that there can't be. I just have trouble thinking of them. I just have trouble
thinking. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Think about how.
What was that?
Give me a little bit more.
So when you have 75 spots, somebody has to be left out. So that's the first thing. So they left out Artis Gilmore, they left out Bernard King, they left out Alex English, and a bunch of other guys. So it's like, if it's okay to leave all these other guys out, why not Michael Jordan? Now they might say, well, Michael Jordan's better. Well, then how about this? If someone tells me that he has to be on that top 75 list, if someone makes that claim, is it a fact that Michael Jordan is a top 75 player? If it's a fact, anyone please show me the proof, the fact that he's factually a top 75 guy. If it's not a fact, that means either it's not true or it's inconclusive. And I'm not saying he is or he's not. I'm just not sure if he should be on that NBA's top 75 list.
What is Chief Wiggum saying? Chief Wiggum's making a guess on who you are. I can't believe you got former ESPN late night host Craig Kilborn on your show.
Who's he talking about? Me? Is he talking about me?
I think he's talking about you.
Does he think I sound like Craig Kilborn? Okay, no one's ever told me that. I don't think I sound like him, but I don't know where he's going. Maybe he means like maybe he's referring to something else. Like he thinks I have some take he has, or he thinks my personality is like him or something.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
I don't think my personality is like him. I don't think I have any take like him. I mean, if I do, it's just a coincidence. Like a lot of people have similar takes, you know.
Even Gregory agrees with me a little bit. I think that one's a stretch. I think 75 is quite the stretch.
Oh, okay.
Brother Michael, is that you in the background? Did you wanna come on and talk? It sounds more like Stephen A. Smith with a hairline.
Who's he talking about?
I'm not really sure. I'm confused by some of the comments coming in.
By the way, Stephen A. Smith. I've come to the conclusion out of all the Michael Jordan lovers in the media, like the well-known people in the media who are my NBA like people, Stephen A. Smith is the worst. Max Kellerman is pretty much right there with them. They're both pretty much on the same level. I think Stephen A. Smith is a little bit more. He had a little bit more of a ranking to be the worst for other reasons. I made a video on this, but anyway, I made a video on this about why he's the worst. Then, but anyway, him and Max Kellerman are pretty much on the same level. They're pretty much both the worst Michael Jordan fans in the media. But I think Stephen A. Smith is more worse, so I put him as the worst. I think he's the worst Michael Jordan lover in the media when it comes to the famous guys and girls.
Mark Rebel says this guy says MJ should not be in the Hall of Fame whatsoever. I like my personal opinion. I just think that there's other greater players that should be recognized. That are just as good, if not better, than Michael Jordan. And that's where I put it at.
I agree. There's lots of players better than Michael Jordan, folks. Don't get suckered into the snake oil that they're selling you. There's people who bring more to the table. They're taller than him, stronger than him. They're more of an all-around player than him, and they are overall a better player than him. Well, same thing. If you're an all-around player, if you're a better all-around player, you are a better player.
Sorry, I just had to share somebody the link. And then, Brother Michael, it sounds like you're more than welcome to come on. He said Michael Jordan is the greatest. Why is this a debate?
He's not the greatest. You believe it is. Listen, you Michael Jordan fans, listen, I know this topic really well. You Michael Jordan fans, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but you guys really are the worst NBA fans, man. You guys are influenced by the idiot Michael Jordan lovers in the media. You love Michael Jordan way too much. Like, it's okay to love a guy, but you guys are way too into him. You guys are like, there's a difference between going, I'm a fan of Michael Jordan versus, it's a fact he's the number one guy. And you guys are brainwashed by the Michael Jordan media and, things like that.
Screaming A. Smith. That's a good nickname for him. Skip Bayless? Who's Skip Bayless? I don't even know.
Where did all these, by the way, just coincidentally, a lot of Michael Jordan fans started typing a little while ago. Did they all coincidentally just come in here? Or
no, I messaged the group that I was in, and that's where I had talked to him earlier. Oh, we got one of them joining us here.
I was hoping I was going to get to ask fucking the Wizard of Oz a few questions. I'm not here to defend Michael Jordan, but I do have a few questions for the powerful Oz.
Who's he talking about?
Are you talking about the universe?
Yeah, exactly. The question should be, I got a few questions for you.
Wizard of Oz.
Huh?
How did I get the label of the Wizard of Oz?
Because you can't see your face, bud, and you did the things moving like the curtain. You never seen Dorothy?
Oh, you mean because of that? Oh, okay.
Well, I got some really interesting questions. I'm not here to defend Michael Jordan, but
right.
when you
I'm
say, let me ask you. No, I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, the Bulls get up,
Let me ask you a question.
That was man.
What does the stats aside? What does the championships count for? Anything?
That's a good question. I was joking about you being a Lakers fan again because you had the Chicago Bulls gear on, the jersey and the hat. Anyway,
I've heard much better jokes, my good man.
No, how about this? Michael Jordan is the number one NBA player of all time. That's a funny joke. But anyway.
Well, no, I answered your question. I didn't come here to defend Michael Jordan. I said, what does his championships count for? You're talking about top 75s and shit. A guy that won the championships in the story pattern the way he did, you can't make no argument and say, come finals time, it wasn't MJ time.
So you go by rings?
Can you answer that first question, though? Answer the first question.
I'm waiting for you to stop so I can answer. Yeah.
All right.
So you go by rings to rank guys?
I don't go by. I never said he's the greatest player. I always said he's my first pick. But when you're throwing out the shit you're throwing out, like I can live with Michael Jordan not being the number one player in your book, but at least just don't throw the stat thing out there. Like Bill Belichick said, stats are for losers.
I never.
Box scores are for winners.
Belichick said that? Okay, if we're going to go by what people say, why don't we go by what Michael Jordan said? Michael Jordan basically said that A, there's no such thing as a number one NBA player of all time, and B, you shouldn't use rings to rank guys.
Okay, I didn't use a ring. Answer my question. What does his championships count for that you don't have him in the top 75?
Then you are using rings.
I'm just saying it's champion. You're acting like they don't count. No, those were just.
No, but you just told me what Belichick said, Bill Belichick. What about what Michael Jordan said?
Well, because you said so are you just saying that you just go by stats? That's just how you do it? If you say that, I can live with that. But you don't even answer the question. That's what's sad.
I mean, first of all, I am kind of addressing this by going over some other things, but if you want me to just straight up answer you, fine, no problem. You're asking me why I was going to get to this. What do these rings mean? They mean that he was on a team that him and his team won, but they don't mean anything to rank guys.
You're not going to say if you had a teeter-totter, Jordan won outweighed the team on the reason they won?
No. Look at what Gregory put too, Pesci. Championships are a team accomplishment. I got it pulled up. I got it pulled up on the main screen. Championships are a team accomplishment. You're talking about championships.
You act like Jordan didn't win those.
Jordan didn't win those. His team won those.
Even his team won them. That's right.
It was never just an even shred. It was always him.
Then that means if you're going to tell me that, if you're going to say that he was the main guy when they won, then if you want to be fair and you want to be consistent, then are you going to make the point that he was the main guy when they lost?
Yes, without a doubt.
Okay, then
because he always said, if I'm going to take all the blame, blah, blah, blah. Sure, without a doubt. If Michael Jordan played bad or whatever, Jordan, you have to be blamed. That's your show.
Okay, so if he gets the blame for losing, how can he be the number one NBA player of all time?
I never called. See, you came back like I called Jordan number one. I said he's my first pick in the gym. You were talking about top 75s. I'm like, so this guy just ignored Jordan's championships, called it a team effort, like it was the Seattle Supersonics getting to the finals.
Well, hold on. Even though you don't pick him number one, you're saying he's still your number one pick. Now, if you mean he's your favorite, that's fine. But is he your number one guy because you think he's the best, or is he your favorite?
He's my number. I want him. First pick in the gym. Jordan's available.
So then you are, even though you're not saying he's the number one NBA player of all
time. You want to hear what Allen Iverson said on Kwame Brown's show?
You are basically saying he's the number one guy, at least for you. You can tell me what Allen Iverson said, but what about what Michael Jordan said?
I know. I remember what Jordan said. That's what GOATs are supposed to say, unlike LeBron.
Okay, so and this is, by the way, a Michael Jordan fan just brought up LeBron James. There's one of the audience,
Yeah, I got LeBron hanging all over my house, Oz. You know what I mean? I'm from Cleveland.
I'm just making a point. Michael Jordan fans always do this weird thing of bringing up LeBron James when he has nothing to do with the topic. It happens all the time.
Well, I mean, they tend to put him right there right now.
And Michael Jordan fans tend to always bring him up.
Well, we have to. I mean, what do you mean? That's a compare. He's deserving to be in that.
All right. There's a pattern, man. I mean, they're always bringing up LeBron James when you do the topic.
Count for anything? So you're just like, you know what?
Hold on 1 second.
Those Bulls would have won without Jordan. They might have won more. You sound silly when you say
somebody.
That.
Hold on 1 second, Pesci. I got one more guy that wants to come on and talk about Michael Jordan as well. But if I let you guys on, I just want to make sure it's done.
My thing is with the Galaxy guy, he's not explaining why he's not the top 7. Why nothing.
One topic at a time.
I got another great question for you. Why did Shaq get all that call number one?
Hold on 1 second. Let's get to the first question. Hold on.
If you ask me about rings, I'm addressing that point. It's not that I'm avoiding you. Like you're painting a picture like I'm not addressing rings. What do I go by statistics? And then you have a new question. We're going one thing at a time. But you tell me which one you want, and I'll address them. But I'm also telling you about consistencies and contradictions and all that. So, for example, when you tell me what Bill Belichick says, I don't think it's unreasonable that I'm telling you what Michael Jordan says. Now you want to tell me what Allen Iverson says. Well, again, what about what Michael Jordan says?
You said number one, because you were talking about top players and shit and stats, and I'm like, stats isn't what makes the best either. In everybody's book.
I think in the beginning I didn't even say stats. I think you even asked me, are you going by stats or not? So first you make it seem like I'm going by stats, then you ask me like you don't know if I'm going by stats.
So then you make no sense by not putting Jordan in the top 75.
No, it does make sense because I do go by statistics, if in case you want to know. But statistics, I'm not saying they're 100% reliable, but they're the most reliable thing, man. Anything else is less reliable than statistics.
I think you guys are kind of overthinking this whole debate because I mean the purpose of sports is to worry about stats and also winning a ring. It's like if you play a sport and you want to win, get a trophy, get a ring, and brag about it. But I mean, I just want to know where this Jordan hate come from. I mean,
this is another example of why Michael Jordan fans are the worst NBA fans.
Listen. I'm not a big Michael Jordan fan.
Let me explain. Whenever you take away from Michael Jordan, a lot of Michael Jordan fans will go, "Why do you hate him? Are you a LeBron sexual? Are you a millennial?" and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Oz, only player to ever win offensive, defensive player in the same year. Not top 75, my man. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson called him number one before he won a ring.
Yeah, first of all, that's
I'm
not
true.
Oz.
I don't have to think.
That's not true. I didn't say you were Oz. I was making a joke because you're talking to Oz like that means like Oz. How about this? Well, I'm going to make the same point. Hey, Oz. Lots of players have done lots of things that are very unique. Then, and Magic and Bert Johnson and Larry Bird did not call Michael Jordan the number one guy before.
I can prove that. I can prove that. I got a video.
No, you cannot prove it.
Hey, shitface, listen. I got a video when I bought this picture with my dad.
By the way,
picture of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
By the way, Oz, if you're
and there's a video that came with this picture.
Hang on. Oz. No, I can't get away.
Can I finish?
Oz, look at how he acts and look at how I act. And do you understand why I label? I know he's one guy, but my point is,
because
do you
this guy's
understand why I
purposely
question
fucking
Michael
with people, man.
as being the worst NBA fans on?
Listen, you just called me a liar, Oz. Look, I was going to tell you where they said it. When they were on the Dream Team, they were interviewing Magic, and he said, "Well, we felt."
What year was the Dream Team?
Why can't I go along with what Magic Johnson says? That makes me a bad fan.
Pay attention to what I'm saying. You said they called him the number one guy before he won a ring. The Dream Team was 1992 after he won a ring.
They were talking about it. They interviewed him about Jordan. And Magic was talking about how we felt he was number one before he won. He needed to get some guys around him. I'm not making that up. I'll put that on my mom's life, Oz.
That is not the same thing as you having proof of them doing it, Haas.
Oz, Wizard of Oz, dude.
Well, Haas, Boss, whatever. I thought you called me Haas. Oshkosh.
Okay, so I just have one question.
He didn't even make a good point.
Sorry, I just have one question.
Let Michael get in there.
The debate is that.
Listen. I was trying to be nice to you, but you're coming off as a jerk off. So I'm making lots of good points. Nice. You're too dumb to understand.
I'm mad because of the way you talk to me. I don't even get mad at people.
I was being very. Listen. When you first came on, this is how I acted. Hey, what's going on? Sure, go ahead. I'm being calm and all that. Now, let me tell you. Let me do you. Hey, man, what's going on? Who's this asshole? Haas, what's going on? That's you.
It's Oz, Wizard of Oz. At least I came in and I said when I answered the question.
You accuse me of not answering questions. You get loud. You attack me, and you act like a jerk. If you act like these ways, then don't be surprised if I react to you in a negative way. Then.
Well, if I'm the worst fan ever, then you're the worst guy to explain.
I never said you're the worst fan ever, but if you want, I'll call you that. I didn't say you were the worst fan ever, but if you want,
I'd rather be the worst fan ever.
All right, you're the worst fan ever.
And you can refer
Nobody
to me
wears
as a piece
baseball
of
hat.
shit for the remainder of the night.
I didn't call you. I didn't call you a piece. You're thinking things in your head.
No, I
never
said
called
you
the worst
can
fan ever.
refer to me as a piece of shit. I'd say
I
call
have
me.
no reason. I never. I don't have to call you piece of shit. You're being ridiculous. You're starting drama and being rude and playing victim like you've been nice and respectful and pointing the finger at me and acting like you've been reasonable.
What drama did I start? You said Michael Jordan is in top 75.
All right, so Universe Galaxy.
What drama did I
Hold
start?
on, one second.
What drama did I start?
None. You just don't know how to answer a question. You don't know how to talk to people.
Okay, we're gonna go back to this again.
Okay,
So I was answering.
hey guys, let me jump in here for a second. Let me jump in for 1 second. Pesci, you asked about the rings. He did answer that, and then you were offended by his answer. It was about it not being. It's a team sport.
No, you called me a liar about the Magic Johnson thing.
No. You jumped to that thing.
Now you're changing it. Now you're changing it.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the first topic that you brought up. You jumped to another topic after that when you didn't get the right answer that you wanted when it came to it. It's a team sport. Michael Jordan didn't win.
You act like the Bulls would have been there without him. You guys really like, the Bulls were set.
The worst fan ever. You're not listening to the host. You made it seem like I was not answering your questions, and the host told you I did answer it, and then you changed it.
I don't
you
even
didn't
get
like
mad.
the answer.
I can't believe this guy got me mad over basketball.
You went to another topic. I answered that one too, and then you accused me of not answering questions. And by the way, sometimes you don't answer questions.
I wasn't here to defend Michael Jordan.
I didn't say you were. Maybe you were, maybe you weren't. I don't care. You didn't always answer all my questions. I think you had at least one question you didn't answer, probably more questions that you didn't answer. And I did. I am addressing your points. I may not do it the way you like or whatever answer you're looking for, but I'm literally addressing your points. You're just reacting like just as if you're in love with Michael Jordan or something.
It's not that serious, but dude, the way you talk, you could get somebody pissed off. Trust me.
You're the one. Listen,
I'm a guy
you guys are going back and forth over something.
Okay, all right. Let Michael.
I don't even want to argue with this guy. Talk about the topic, dude. You're a problem starter.
So back to the topic, guys.
Let's have Michael bring us back here.
You were rude first.
I'm not shocked that the guy who didn't put Jordan in his top 75 not showing his face.
You were being disrespectful first. You were being negative first.
Okay, kids, relax. Let's get back to the topic. Okay.
Well, he started it.
Is he? He's still calling kids. So, Universe of Galaxy.
I hear the tape being played in the background. Is someone playing it in the background?
Somebody got the YouTube open?
No, it's not me. I don't think so.
I got Jordan on.
Of course.
So I just want to know, Universe, if you had to pick your top 5 NBA players from any era, who would it be?
I could do it for fun, man, but there's no set list.
All right, give it a shot.
I don't believe in different eras, just so you know.
No, I mean just in general. Just give me
Yeah, if you want me to do it for fun, I'll do it for fun.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Here, let me spicing things up here. I'm gonna give you a monster list. All right, I'm gonna go with George Mikan, Bob Pettit, Bob Cousy, Dolph Schayes, and Bill Russell. That's a monster list right there.
All right, so with that top 5 people that you name, you think that those people should be above Michael Jordan?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
And what is your reason why?
Number one, they played in a tougher time. So imagine you had 2 Michael Jordans, right? They were the same height, the same weight, the same skills. Everything is the same. One Michael Jordan played in 1949, and one played in 1989. Which Michael Jordan had it tougher? The guy who played in those days. In fact, if you were a star in the NBA and someone said to you, you could be a star in 1989 or 1949, which year you would pick? You would pick 1989. In those days, they had it so much tougher for a number of reasons. So that's going to give them the edge. But that's not all there is to it. There's more to it than that. All the players I listed bring more to the table, a lot more to the table. Michael Jordan was basically a scorer. He did other things, but he was basically a scorer. But I like players, just like everyone else does in every sport, or I shouldn't say everyone. Most people who are experts in most sports, they like people who are more of an all-around player. And the more you bring to the table, the better player you are.
So you think that Michael Jordan was an all-around team player? Is what you're pretty much saying?
There's no sense
No, I'm
to
saying
that.
there's other people who are. I'm saying you're taking me wrong, Lovely. You're not getting me right, man. You're too emotional. You seem like you're coked up on Gatorade, to be honest. Well, anyway, back to the other guy.
But I mean, if you think about it,
Michael,
there are people that have had. Who's the person that holds the most records? It's not Michael Jordan.
right? That's Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
But anyway,
he holds the most records when it comes to stats. I mean, but people still don't have him above Jordan.
Right, that's right. And some people, by the way, you want to laugh at, you guys want, or you, the Michael Jordan guy, he wants to laugh at where I rank Michael Jordan. Go ask some people where they rank Wilt Chamberlain. The guy has the most records of all time, and some people go, yeah, he's number 6.
That's a better argument than your Jordan one. The Wilt one's a better one than. That's a real argument.
If Wilt Chamberlain has the most records of all time, it's silly to not put him at least
I believe
number 1.
Wilt should be top 5 in my book.
So that means the guy with the most records has to be top 5. He should be number 1. He has the most records. I just said in my book,
I like Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah,
when
I'm saying your book should have him.
I'm picking.
Right, I'm saying if he has the most records, he shouldn't be just top 5. He should be a little better than that. But anyway, back to the other guy. I'm not saying Michael Jordan only did scoring. He did other things, but there's other people out there who did just as much as Michael Jordan or more than Michael Jordan.
Okay, statistically, okay. I don't even know how to argue to that.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I just can't really. I don't know.
Dude,
it's like me saying like, oh, LeBron is not the best at the moment, but there's people that's better than LeBron not getting the recognition. I mean, it's not really. It's really hard for me to accept you saying that Michael Jordan is not a great player or he wasn't. He's not.
I never said that.
No, sorry. Hold on, relax. I said. It's
I'm
hard
relaxed.
For
I'm just following up.
Think that Michael Jordan is not the greatest of like all time in basketball. Like it just.
Well, let me ask you a question. What do you think is more strange? One guy saying, "Hey, there's other people just as good as Michael Jordan or better than Michael Jordan," or one guy going, "Yeah, Michael Jordan is the number 1 NBA player of all time."
Well, Magic Johnson says that. What's wrong with that?
No, he does not say that.
He said it.
Now he's going to show me tape of NBC and other times. I know Magic Johnson.
I will put my life on it. I'll send you the clip.
You're getting loud and obnoxious again. Listen to me. I know he said it.
I'm going to put
I know he said it. You're taking it the wrong way, honey. Relax. What I'm saying to you is Magic Johnson says lots of things.
I'll bet my mother's life on it, Oz.
Don't bet your mother's life on it. That's not a good thing to do.
I can bet it if it's a shoe it.
You're not listening. I know Magic Johnson said it. Yeah, you're not listening. It's like talking to a kid.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson says lots of things. I can give you a list of things that Magic Johnson says. He says
there's
lots
more
of
than Magic. I was giving you an example. I said, okay, so I'm not allowed to take Magic.
And I was following up to your example. You gave an example. I followed up to it. If you want to bring up someone else, go for it.
I couldn't picture anybody that's like really more knowledgeable in these topics to even have this debate with you.
Okay, so then
it doesn't make any sense.
Is Michael Jordan forcing you?
No. Jake's been asking me to come watch this Jordan thing for a minute. I was trying to do it to be nice.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate
so far,
you coming
on. Because I
told you I was upset. You called me a liar. I don't like that.
Well, no, Pesci, I knew from the way that you were talking to me where you put Jordan.
You're acting like a dumb broad, man. I never called you a liar.
Dumb broad makes more sense than a liar, but there's a lie in there.
Okay, well, you're acting like a girl, man. You're just taking things the wrong way. I didn't call you a liar. Magic Johnson did call Michael Jordan the greatest. I know that. What I was saying to you was he calls lots of people the greatest. I can give you a list of people that he calls the greatest. And you know he thought he was the greatest.
Career, it'd be Magic's.
What was that?
If I could pick a career, like I said, I could pick one player, get their first 10 years, I'd pick Magic Johnson's first 10 years.
Yeah, I think Magic Johnson was a better player than Michael Jordan, no doubt about it.
He won see, I could listen to that from a basketball standpoint, but Magic put him above, put Jordan over.
Again, you're not listening to me, man. Magic Johnson has picked lots of people as the number 1 guy, and he thought he was the best when he played then.
And Pesci,
you want me to list you people Magic Johnson picks?
But Pesci, wasn't that your same argument for why Michael Jordan wouldn't pick himself?
Well, what I'm saying is,
But I'm saying you just used the same argument to defend why Magic Johnson said it, but Michael Jordan wouldn't call himself the GOAT because he's humble.
But the question was,
Right.
it wasn't
They do
like,
that
was
too,
he
by the
the
way.
GOAT? It was when
Jacob,
did he
you're right.
become
Michael
the
Jordan
best
fans
player in the league,
contradict themselves on
in
that
your
too.
opinion?
Okay.
The question to Larry Bird and them was, when did he become it was in the documentary, Oz, when did he become the best player in your eyes? This was asked on the Dream Team, and that's how they answered. It wasn't, is he the GOAT? Is he the best? That wasn't the conversation.
And you missed what I said. You missed what I said when you brought it up earlier. That whole Dream Team thing. You said to me, "I don't have your, I don't have your exact words." You did, and I'll show it to you again. You basically said to me that they picked Michael Jordan before he won a ring, and then you said it was in the Dream Team time.
His exact words were, "Well, a lot of us thought he was the best player in the league before he won."
Oz. Let me finish now, Oz. That time, the Dream Team was around 1992. At that time, Michael Jordan already won a ring then.
I know, but they were commenting on the past, bro. It'd be like
and you said you had proof of them saying it. They didn't. That's
yeah,
not proof
it's in
of
the
them
documentary.
No,
they
it's
talked about
not.
it.
No, they didn't say. They never said.
I'm not making this up. He said we bullied, dude. I'm not even going to argue about this asshole.
All right, let's say
I recently watched this.
Again, you're fucking getting like an obnoxious. You seem like an obnoxious motherfucker, man. Seriously.
Universe Galaxy is the biggest piece of shit in the business.
And you're debating me, so you must be.
Why did they have to get to name calling?
By the way, I'm not the one wearing a fucking. I'm not the one wearing a fucking baseball hat.
I'm gonna prove it, Galaxy.
Is it fucking sunny inside your room right now, man?
What was that?
Yeah, John Stockton.
Yeah, John Stockton's better than Michael
This guy
Jordan.
doesn't even watch basketball. What was the score of the Pistons game tonight?
Anyway, if let's assume that tape has, let's assume that Magic and Bird picked Michael in that tape. Let's just assume that's true, which I doubt
it.
They
did. Why would I make that up, man? This ain't some 4-year-old shit. I'm a goddamn.
You're acting like a dumb broad, man. You're acting like a dumb broad, man. Seriously, just relax. Take it easy.
Yeah, guys, just chill. It's not that serious.
I don't know why you're saying. No, why are you saying guys? Look at how he's acting, man. It's him. I'm just reacting to him. Let's say they did it. Nah, fuck it. Like, what am I? It is my fault. I'm fucking wasting my time like debating this fucking Momo, man. Seriously, you know.
That's fair to the business.
Right. Must be real sunny in your room right now with your baseball hat. And your sunglasses too. Anyway, I'll try one more. Don't tell me nothing. Let me try one more time. All right. Let's assume that they do pick him in that documentary. Let's assume that. All right. You got the proof and all that. There's a lot of other times where they don't pick him.
Just let him finish what he's saying for 1 second, Pesci. Go ahead.
Thanks, man. I was pretty much said it, but I think I already said it, but I think you missed it. Let's assume they pick him in that documentary, all right? There's a lot of other times where they don't pick him.
Okay.
Or a few other times, you know.
Okay. Now, difference between you and me is, at least I can tell you the time when they said it. You can't give me a good, strong example when they didn't.
How do you know I can't? I just haven't done it yet because we've been bogged down on other stupid things where the way you act. Not only can I give you the time of when they did it, I'll show you the actual video on my first page.
No, he has multiple examples on his page. That's what
I don't doubt it.
On his page. Most of his live streams don't actually get to stay up.
Yeah, I take them.
But no, I think you guys would come to an actual agreement if you guys would hear each other out, because I don't think, Pesci, that you're as in love with Michael Jordan as you come off. And I don't like that people think that you're giving heat to Michael Jordan. It's like, okay, if you're giving all this credit to Michael Jordan, this kind of goes with what Michael was saying when he came on. If you're giving all that credit to Michael Jordan, you're kind of slapping the other great basketball players in the face. It's not like you just hate Michael Jordan. It's like, well, no, I respect these other players that did good in their positions as well. Why are we only recognizing Jordan?
I recognize other players. He made a comment saying top 75 shit. That would have to be addressed before we start
Well, and I even said that before you got on, Pesci. I even said I have a hard time seeing. I could say top 20. I could see him outside of the top 20, but top 30, I couldn't do it. 75 was hard for me to fathom. Even people in the chat said that.
He said 75 was hard for him to fathom.
That was hard for me to fathom. Yeah, I couldn't imagine him not being in the top 75.
See, now what's going to happen now? Because Pesci guy doesn't have anything to prove me wrong on, right? So now what he's going to do is he's going to hone in on that 75 list because that one's a little bit easier to go with, you know?
What do you mean prove you
Homie,
wrong?
you haven't proven me wrong in anything. I've proven you wrong more than once then. Or at least
what do you
once.
mean prove you wrong? About what? That he's not top 75? I don't need to prove anything with that.
About all the things we've gone over.
Hey, Mike, what did you do yesterday? I was on a podcast talking about this guy. We were talking about, he said Jordan's not top 75. Somebody would be like, you partook in that?
You see what I mean? You see what I mean, Jacob? I told you exactly what he's going to do now. He's not going to prove me wrong on anything else. He's going to hone in on that 75 list.
What did you say for me to prove wrong? You just said
because
Jordan's not top 75.
But okay, so
if you don't put
Petty,
Michael Jordan in the top 75, that's an easier one to go over for him because most people can show that Michael Jordan has more of a reason to be in the top 75 list, right? It's easier to do.
No, Pesci, I was going to say,
not fucking top 75.
I shouldn't say most.
I think your first question that you came in with was actually a good question because it was answering something for you.
Jacob, there's no way you could be buying this shit. What he said.
No. Listen to what I'm saying for a second.
By the way, Jacob Waters. By the way, Jacob Waters. Everyone who's fair knows I'm winning, but there's a guy in the chat room who really believes that the Joe Pesci guy is winning. Then.
Oh,
can you believe that?
No, I don't. I mean, I feel like it's not a matter of winning or losing. I don't feel like anybody's getting this argument across.
He's like a time traveler. He's like, you haven't proved me wrong. You haven't said anything. You
No.
Listen, 75. That'd be like me
traveling.
saying a donkey doesn't have a dick.
Stop for a second.
Time traveling earlier too. What was that? You know.
Stop for a
I
second.
just said a donkey doesn't have a dick. Prove me wrong.
Listen, Pesci, you started out with a solid question. Your question was, why do you not recognize the 6 rings? And he answered that question for you.
Very weakly.
So what did you want?
I said there's no reason to debate this guy.
I'm just saying, at no point did you ever say, hey, name 75 players that are better than Michael Jordan. You never even asked that question.
He called me a liar. That's like fucking my mother.
What you actually wanted to know.
Pesci, it wasn't weekly. I gave you good points, and I never called you a liar, you jerk off, idiot.
I actually don't feel bad because it's not like you would win that conversation anywhere.
Hey, Jacob, can you bring up Herman?
Herman's not in the background right now. He was up here. I didn't pull him off.
What you said? Prove you wrong. You haven't said anything.
I don't know what you're referring to about which I wouldn't win on. I've won on pretty much everything we disagreed on. You haven't won on any topic that we disagreed on.
What do you mean win?
And what was your
question? Define the win, Jacob. Did he win? What did he win on?
So far,
you haven't made any points. You haven't made any points of why Michael Jordan is higher.
I didn't come on here to defend Michael Jordan.
But he has answered your questions.
Thank you.
He has answered every question that you presented to him, though. I mean, everything else is more than
what's wrong with him? Michael Jordan's top 75, jerky. You know what I mean? He's a winner. It's a game about winning. Yeah, it's a game about team. But if you don't win, you don't get shit.
But I'm just saying, you can't call it a game about team.
What do I have to... Jordan's got 6 rings. That puts him in the top 75 odds.
That puts his team in the top 75 , right?
It puts his team in the top 75. It wasn't like it was a team effort in those finals.
Stop putting a team award on Michael Jordan's shoulders. If Scottie Pippen wasn't there, it wouldn't have happened. There was other people that contributed to this. I don't know why you're acting like it was Michael Jordan's accomplishment.
Jacob, I will never. I don't even want to have this conversation anymore with you guys.
But you know what? It's fine, man. I agree if it's getting you upset because like I said, I've never even seen you upset. But what I'm saying is,
yeah, exactly. See, Galaxy, I don't get like this. It's because he called me a liar, and this is silly.
I never. Hey, stop making up shit, you lying cunt. I never called you a liar.
I won.
Cocksucking motherfucker gonna keep accusing me of shit's not true, man.
I didn't hear him call you a liar.
Yeah, I never called you a liar.
Yeah, he did. He said fucking Magic didn't say that. That's enough for me.
I never called you a liar. You're taking things the wrong way. You're thinking things in your head, you fucking obnoxious motherfucker.
Galaxy, where are we going with this?
You didn't even say anything like
This
logical.
is LJ. No. Galaxy, let me give you a realization. This is LJ when Michael came on the other night. Like I know one of them sounds crazy, but it doesn't do any good to throw mud and bring it to the same level.
Okay, I think I know.
Promise
what
I'll
you're
never
referring
bring
to,
up Michael Jordan again.
I think I know what you mean.
Hey, everybody in the chat. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat. But Herman, thank you for coming back, man. I appreciate it.
What's up,
What's going on, man?
Not too much.
Sorry, I'm sorry. 1 second, Mike.
No, go ahead. No,
for everyone
please,
listening, hey, thanks, man. You guys don't know me. I really try really hard to get along with people, to be nice and respectful and kind. But when someone starts, when someone is rude and when someone acts like a jerk and they start drama and they just keep acting in some kind of negative way, it doesn't make sense to just give that person a pass, act like they've been nice, point the finger at me then, and act like they've been reasonable. Go ahead to the other guy. What's the guy's name?
Herman. I'm Herman. Hey, what's up, Ultimate Galaxy? How you doing, man? Or Universe Galaxy? Sorry, I said the name wrong. Wow,
hey, Herman the Great.
I'm really bad.
Summon Jake.
Beshi, shut the fuck up. Anyway, all right. Sorry, I'm trying to talk to you.
Herman the Great, rocking a nice.
I don't usually say that, Pesci, but
nice beard, man.
Oh, thank you. So I can understand you saying that Michael Jordan doesn't belong, in the top 5 or anything like that. I get that. I'm not really a Jordan fan, but I don't understand your ranking system. Could you, how are you said you're going to the eras, but how do you compare the different eras? Each era was different, in my opinion. But I just want to understand more about.
Oh, I know. No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I think we have a delay. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't understand, because earlier you said that Michael Jordan, or people like I think you said like Larry Bird and different players like that, they were played in a different era. But how do you compare the different eras? I mean, where does that kind of come into play in your opinion? I guess maybe I'm not understanding that necessarily.
Yeah, no, I never. Yeah, no, I never said Larry Bird played in a different era. I never said. I actually said I don't believe in there's different eras. Yeah, I don't think there's like this era starts in this year and ends in this year. It's just people it's just people making things up. I don't believe in different eras. I think if you really respect the game, you respect all the players. Like if you're 7'1" and you're 290 pounds, it don't matter what the year is. You're 7'1", you're 290 pounds. If you can ball, you can ball. But my point is, there's lots of players just as good as Michael Jordan or better than Michael Jordan. You were asking me how do I rank players? I don't really rank them. But I do what most people who are experts in most sports do, which is the more you bring to the table, the better player you are.
Wait, repeat that? Repeat what you just said.
Michael Jordan is the number 1 NBA player of all time.
No, repeat what you just said,
No,
sir.
Universe, can you say that one more time? I missed the end of it.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh no, I thought that was no. You're fine if you were asking me, Jacob. The other guy was asking me. I didn't know
Go
if you
watch
the
the
whole
tape
thing
later
or the
when he
last
said
part.
like
What are you asking me, Jacob? The whole thing or the last part?
Yeah, no, go ahead and say that again. I missed the end, and it kind of messed up what I was listening to in the beginning. I was answering a question in the chat. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Basically, no problem. Basically, what I was telling the other guy, Herman the Great. I never said Larry Bird played in a different era. I never said that I go by eras. I actually said earlier.
He goes by his like chart, his hidden chart.
Pesci, calm down.
I can't hear his thought the first time. I don't want to have to ask him to say it again.
Yeah, please. I want to try to hear this guy. Go ahead.
Cool.
Go ahead, Galaxy.
Yeah, but now that I'm having an idea of how Pesci is, I'm not going to react the same way. Like if I knew this is how he was in the beginning, I probably wouldn't have reacted a certain way. But now I'm having an idea of how he is, so I'm not going to react.
Just said it. He couldn't repeat it. That was my favorite part.
So anyway, so what I was saying was, if you really respect the game,
there's one for me.
You should be You should be respecting pretty much all the players. And I'm basically was telling Herman the Great also that there's lots of players just as good as Michael Jordan or better than Michael Jordan. And the last thing I told Herman, he was asking me also, how do you rank players? And I told him I don't really rank players, but I do what most experts in most sports do, which is you go by players who bring more to the table, because the more you bring to the more a player brings to the table, that means they're probably a better player. So the more they bring to the table, they're a better player probably.
I feel like
I
if
make
you
it.
go by ranking, you have to do it by the era, in my opinion. I mean, I
So,
don't
so
think you
universe.
can.
I think this has to do with what Michael's about to ask. Do you not think that there was tougher times to play in history? Like, did some teams have it harder based on competition at the time, or do you just look at it all the same?
No, you're right. There are people who had it tougher, but there's a couple problems with this argument. Like, let's say, I'll give you an example. I think Wilt Chamberlain played in a tougher time than Michael Jordan. And not only that, they changed rules to make it harder for Wilt Chamberlain, and they changed rules to make it easier for Michael Jordan. Now, having said all that, that's not Wilt Chamberlain's fault. That's not Michael Jordan's fault. I can't give credit to Wilt Chamberlain because of the time he was in, and I can't give credit to Michael Jordan or take away from him because of the time he was in. So I'm not going to take away from Wilt Chamberlain or elevate him because of the era then.
I don't have no problem you calling Wilt
because
better
Michael
than
Jordan fans
as a basketball player. You were talking about top 75s.
The type of people who always. Because Michael Jordan fans are the type of people who keep going by eras and, the past NBA players played in a sucky time and Michael Jordan played in the number one time, the toughest time, the golden time, the best time. And they think about different, there's such thing as different eras and all that. At that point, if they want to be fair and consistent, then they should, acknowledge that the past players, they played in a tougher time. So if they played in a tougher time, then they should be ranked higher. And Michael Jordan played in a time that you could make the point that it was the worst time of the NBA. And so if that's true, then they should not rank Michael Jordan as the number one NBA player of all time.
Yeah, and the
Going
thing
by
is,
their
I have
logic,
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Just one thing I was going to add, though.
We have a delay, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, we might have a little bit of a delay here. One thing I wanted to add is I have a problem with the term, GOAT, because how do you determine the GOAT? I'm with Michael. I like to go by the different eras. It's tough, because each era for me, at least in my opinion, is different. Each player, played differently. Rules were differently in different eras of basketball. When Michael Jordan was playing, it's not the same as it was today. When Larry Bird and Wilt Chamberlain and all of them were all playing in their respective eras, things were different. So I look at it by era. So I have a problem with anyone saying anyone's the GOAT, the greatest of all time, because it depends on the era for me. But that's just my opinion, though. That's just those are my 2 cents on that.
The part I agree with you is there's no such thing as a number one NBA player of all time. I agree with you on that, but I don't agree on the era thing because there's no way to figure out when an era starts, when an era finishes, and then of course it's not the player's fault if an era is good or not good, or if it's tougher or not. And then of course, even if you disagree, there's so many other variables. Like for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say someone says, okay, this era sucks because the rules suck. Okay, but then there's other factors like maybe they get less money. That makes it tougher for them. Or maybe they have less job security. That makes it tougher for them. Or maybe they had to deal with racism. That makes it tougher for them. Or there's more examples, but you get the point. And there's just so many variables. At the end of the day, Oscar Robertson had an interesting take. He said something like, I don't know why people in the media always make it seem like the game is so different. Why is it so different? You shoot the ball, you rebound, you pass, and things like that.
What about
in other words,
something
it's
like
pretty much the same game.
Can I
ask Michael a question?
Yeah, let me get in one more that I feel like is on this topic, though. What about like a line in the stand, like rules, like the 3-point line violation, like when that was established? Do you think that was? I think that's what it's called when it was established. Do you think that makes a difference when it comes to scoring and stuff like that as well?
What's the rule? What's the rule? I didn't get it. What's the rule?
I think it was like a 3-point line violation or something that they had in. They added it in like 70 something.
It was like 79 during like the Magic Johnson and like Larry Bird.
Jacob, you guys just blocked Schmidt.
I know they had the 3-point
line.
line.
Fake.
What? Who's not a fake?
Chief Wiggum.
Yeah, that's Chris.
Schmidt.
He didn't get blocked. He was spamming. It says right there on Nightbot. He was spamming words and phrases, so he got a warning.
Spamming words and phrases. Jacob doesn't have his shit on rated R. He has it on G.
Well, yeah, no, it's a Nightbot, so I don't have to sit there and moderate it.
Can I ask Michael a question? Just Michael?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
I don't want Galaxy answering this. This question's for Michael.
All right.
Yes,
Michael,
Your
all
Majesty, I'll
jokes
stay out of it.
aside,
Yes, sir.
pretend that I don't even know why I got upset. I got upset. He called me a liar.
Mm.
But look, all jokes aside,
I never called you a liar.
how many good points has he made keeping Jordan out of the top 75 tonight, in your opinion?
None.
To be honest,
I asked
don't-
Michael, Mark Rebel Games, please. I'm asking Michael.
I think, I mean, he has a point on like not calling Michael Jordan a GOAT, but I feel like I don't think he's given enough. Like, I don't know. It's really
got
hard
no
for me.
problem
I don't think I gave any. I don't think for everyone on the panel right now, I don't think I explained to anyone why I'm not sure if he's in the top 75 though. So when the guy goes none,
he's like,
I never really got into it.
Okay, hey, Galaxy, I'm gonna officially ask you, why is he not in the top 75?
Yeah, sure, I'll do
As
it.
you
So, but
said.
so for the other guy
I'd
who's
like to know
going,
that.
oh, none. Yeah,
I
no,
know.
I'll definitely
I
do it. For the other guy who went none. Well, he acted like I actually tried to make a good point or points, and I didn't do it. I didn't even get into it because we were going over other things. And to the Pesci guy, who's making it seem like I didn't do it. Well, yeah, I didn't do it yet because we went over other things. But I'll do it right now. The host already knows. I actually explained it to him some other time. Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, he does it on his channel all the time.
Yeah, so a couple, three things you want to consider, right? Now just think this before any of you tell me I'm wrong. If you guys tell me, is the Earth round or flat? You can prove that as a fact, right? There's no dispute, unless there's some flat earthers in here. If you guys tell me, you're in America, all right, you can prove that's a fact. If you tell me that, hey, Michael Jordan existed, you can prove that as a fact. So if you tell me I'm wrong, and he's got to be top 75, prove it to me. That's the first thing. Second thing, before you start listing his resume, somebody has to be left out the top 75. You can't fit them all in there. There's like over 4,000 people in the Basketball Hall of Fame. They can't all fit in the top 75. In fact, they took out some guys who are really good people. They're Hall of Famers. Bernard King, not there. Alex English, not there. Artis Gilmore, not there. A bunch of people are not there. So if it's okay to leave all those other guys out, why is it not okay to leave Michael Jordan out of it? And the last thing, you guys are going to tell me things he did. You're going to say, well, Michael Jordan has 6 rings. Well, he has 10 scoring titles. He has finals MVPs and all that. All you're doing is cherry picking things from his resume and ignoring all the other things that other people have in their resume. And some of the things you're bringing up shouldn't even be used to rank guys. And if you're going to go by those things anyway, like let's say you go by rings, I'm just giving you an example. Well, other people have 6 or more rings, but you guys don't give them the same credit as Michael Jordan or more credit than Michael Jordan. What you guys do, meaning whoever disagrees, you find things to help Michael Jordan and you ignore things that go against him. You find things that hurt other stars, but you ignore the things that go for them. That's it. Go ahead.
And Mark, I was going to let Mark jump in.
Michael Jordan fans in general.
Mark, give me 1 second. Mark Rebel just wanted to come in. He said he had one question, and so I popped him on here. Mark, how you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sit there and say that like 4 times in a row.
Oh no, you're
good. I didn't realize my mic was even on. Yeah, so, that's my bad.
All right.
The only problem I have, Galaxy, is how can you not say that Michael Jordan does not belong in the NBA Hall of Fame when you have Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman?
He never said that.
I never said that.
The chat. That was the chat that was saying that.
He never said that.
Oh.
Universe said that?
No, he never said that.
I never heard him say it.
I thought he said it. If he didn't say it, that's on me. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
On a completely random note, I want people to lighten up, just in case they're not. Can we just all remind ourselves that Divine Tiffany is one beautiful girl? Then, all right, so go ahead, folks.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I agree with that. Pesci.
Of course.
Oh my gosh,
you agree with
Galaxy, you're not going to believe who's in the background.
Divine Tiffany?
No, Legal Latino Heat.
Oh, nice.
Wow, he has guts to come on. Wow, nice.
Oh man! All right, so let me see if I got the
man.
paid version. We can get you up here. He's got his belt hanging in the background. Playing for keeps.
Champion.
Your show is doing well, man. Orale, ¿qué pasó, Legal Latino? Caliente.
Or does heat mean caliente? I think hot means caliente.
He might be running his channel right now because
Anyway.
his mic's muted. He just popped off. But all right.
All right.
So I had a question
Oh,
for
yeah.
Galaxy that I wanted to.
Well,
kinda
in the
throw in there,
meantime,
Galaxy.
Yeah, what you got?
Sure, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So I was going to ask.
Yeah,
So
sure.
you said, I'm not defending Michael Jordan here. I'm just trying to kind of understand more of your logic. But I want to say you said earlier in the show
Sure, no.
that Michael
No, I
Jordan.
hear your questions.
Okay, yeah, no, go ahead. I'm sorry, I'll go ahead. Sorry, I can't even talk today. Anyway, let me see if I can try to ask this question. So you said earlier in the show that all of Michael Jordan's accomplishments were team accomplishments. I agree with that, but do you use that same standard for all NBA
No,
players?
I never said that. I never said that.
No.
I never said
But
that.
I do remember you saying that, like, because Pesci was trying to say, Michael Jordan won NBA championships. You said the team. So, like, do you see all these achievements that Michael Jordan has? Do you use the same standard for the other players that you're putting in the top 75? Or maybe I can ask it a different way.
I did say when it came to him and his team won, but I never.
Right.
But I never said all his accomplishments were team accomplishments. But yeah, to answer your question, your basic point is, if you're basically going to make the point about, hey, if Michael Jordan and his team wins a ring, am I going to do the same thing for other stars? Is that basically your question?
Yes, that's basically my question. Yes.
And Boston Spencer, hey, you're more than welcome to come in.
This is a team game. One guy does not win or lose. Nobody in baseball would say one guy wins the World Series, or one guy nobody in hockey would say one guy wins the Stanley Cup, and most people in football don't say one guy wins the Super Bowl. So the logic should be the same for any team game. Like in basketball, for example, one guy does not win a ring, and even if this was not happening in other sports, even let's say it's not true. Let's say it's not true is what I mean. Let's say everyone was saying one guy wins and loses in all the other team sports. That doesn't mean in basketball you should use one guy to act like that guy won the ring by or he's the reason they lost. One guy doesn't win and lose.
Right.
I gotta admit,
now,
Galaxy.
It's possible that one guy can. It's possible one guy can play so badly. I guess you could blame him for the team losing. I guess I just would be very surprised by that. But definitely when it comes to winning. Now, I mean, to be fair, I guess it's possible one guy can play so well that the team won. It's possible, but I'd be surprised by that. But in general, one guy does not win and lose. What was that, Pesci?
You're right. I got Jordan at number 77 now going forward. You did a great job convincing me. I appreciate it.
No,
Come on, Fetch.
What? I was
Come
being
on
nice.
back to the dark side.
I just said you did a good job convincing me. I got him at 77 now.
So I missed.
Well done.
You're
You're the first guy in history to get.
So Galaxy, let me ask you another question. I know you don't like ranking people through eras, but which era do you feel like was the hardest era in basketball?
He ranks people through his own thing. He doesn't even tell you what his ranking is. I'm like, Galaxy, I'm trying to look at this as a normal person. I used to talk sports all the time once upon a time. And I'm trying to think about, okay, let's look at it logically. Well, let me see one good point the guy made. Yeah, calling Wilt Chamberlain better than Michael Jordan, I can live with that. You were talking about top 75s and shit. You were talking about, those Bulls would have been fine without Jordan. That's the kind of shit you were spitting.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense.
Sure
I just want to know.
Sure
Thank you, Michael.
Okay,
so
what?
Which era was the hardest era?
I'm not sure what he's referring to.
You didn't prove it
Let me jump in here for a second. Did you guys not hear what he said about you have to come with facts in order to establish why Jordan should be in the top 75? He's just saying there's a lot of players that could be up there.
Top 75, Jacob.
What do you mean?
Especially if you were the main driller.
No, what do you mean, Pesci?
I'm saying there's no.
Players like Larry Bird won. Players like Larry Bird won more.
I'm trying to be nice to you. I don't want to have this conversation. It's stupid.
Well, then why did you come up here, Pesci?
I wasn't twisting your arm, man.
I thought the guy might have some good points and shit. to put Jordan on. We're talking top 75, Galaxy.
Well, I thought you were gonna have some good points
You
besides.
didn't make no good
his
point
team
about
winning
putting him on in
rings.
the top 75.
So the only point that you brought up to put him in your top 75.
No, I
Jacob
brought up a
Waters,
lot.
Jacob
The
Jacob
scoring titles,
Waters,
the
did
taking.
you really?
Hold on,
think he would have some
let
good points?
me get in this for 1 minute, guys. The only fact that Pesci brought up in order to claim that he was in the top 25 was his 6 rings.
We're
You
gonna
brought
end up
up,
on some fucking TV show.
but you ended
They're
up,
gonna be making
but,
fun
but
of us.
you brought up the 6 team rings and put that as his accomplishments. You actually personally haven't named any
No, I
accomplishment
said
from
that
Jordan.
put you in the top 75.
Jacob, just a quick question,
Keep
Jacob.
going.
Just a quick question, Jacob. You said that you thought he might
Jacob,
have some
I
good
am not
points.
going to have an argument as Jordan
Did
in
you
the
really
top
think he would have
75.
some good point or good points?
I would rather talk about killing my mother.
What were you saying, Universe?
I was saying you were saying something about how you thought he might have some good point or good points. Did you really think he would have some good point or good points?
Well, no, I thought he was going to actually come with Michael Jordan statistics rather than team
70, I'm
statistics.
saying, Joe, we're talking about top 75. Why do I got to come with a statistic? He's got
By the
6
way,
rings.
I was kind of joking,
That
being
puts you
serious.
in
I was
the
kind of
top
joking, being
75.
serious.
No, I know.
I was kind of joking, being serious. Yeah.
Can I ask
Jacob, you
something?
guys aren't making great points either.
Hey,
I'm
I
not
wanna
trying to
a-
be a jerk to you.
I want to
No,
ask.
that's why I brought up
Jordan's name in front of you again.
that's why I brought up Wilt Chamberlain, and that the fact that that's why I would put him higher than Michael Jordan. I can like I said before you came on, Pesci, I have trouble not picturing Jordan in the top 25.
Well, is Jordan in the top
I will never
100?
bring that man's name up again.
Hey,
Okay.
Galaxy.
By the way, as a reminder to everybody here, he doesn't agree with me on anything. He's just honing in on the top 75 thing because that's the easier one to go with to show
I
why he might
agreed
be
with the
right.
Wilt
Because
Chamberlain.
all the other
Galaxy,
ones
you
he
haven't
hasn't
made
proven
no
he's
good
right
points.
there.
There you go. Guy on the bottom. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Schmidt's in the house.
Oh, hell.
Mark, Legal Latino, do you want to get in here, man, or are you just gonna show the Jordan? I mean,
Yeah, I got
he's
a
got more
question.
Jordan
I'm
gear on than
referring to
you,
all
Legal
the things that
Latino.
he disagrees on.
I got a question. Hello.
15 seasons of Michael Jordan, 6
Galaxy.
championships, 5
Galaxy.
regular season MVPs,
Galaxy.
77.
Rookie
Hey,
of the
Jacob.
Year. Michael Jordan did it all. He even did a
Beat
good movie.
statues by himself. I don't care if Scotty was there. When the big games were on the line, he had
For
the
those of you
ball.
who know, Legal
Michael
Latino
Jordan
has acknowledged to me on my show that
since
Legal.
since
I don't have your exact words. So I'm
1985.
not trying to
We
put
know,
words in your
hey,
mouth,
Legal,
but
we know his
but you
stats.
basically, hang on. He basically told me on my show that he does not know enough about the NBA, and he doesn't even. I think he said also something like that. He doesn't know enough about the time that Michael Jordan was in the NBA. So go ahead.
And
I grew up in the
and I
90s,
told you,
right?
Galaxy, Legal has been on our show before I saw him on yours. He actually came up here one time and was hanging out with us.
Oh, really?
And he's a big wrestling fan.
Oh, he came on your show.
Yeah. No, I didn't
Oh,
know he
I
had been
thought he
on
knew
your
about
show.
your
I
page
popped
because of
on
my
with you,
page.
and I was like, yeah, Legal's been over here before.
Oh, okay. So maybe he knew about your page before my page. I thought he came to my page and then found out about your page from my page then. But no. Anyway, I want to take this time, by the way, to remind everybody: Michael Jordan fans are the worst NBA fans. Anyway, go ahead.
They're the biggest pieces of shit.
Listen. I'm gonna just say this. There's no such thing as the greatest player of any sport. It's impossible. You know what I mean? Like you can't go by the greatest of whatever.
I don't know.
You have
Tom
to-
Brady's pushing that envelope.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
Like you cannot say there's a greatest of any sport.
Come
You have
on
to go by
now.
the era. So if you talk about basketball, then you talk
Tom
about
Brady.
you talk about the
But don't,
50s and the 60s.
I think it's harder with basketball. I do think it's harder with basketball when you're talking about a defensive player and an offensive player. Defensive accomplishments aren't going to be recognized like offensive accomplishments when it comes to scoring points in
Can
the
you
eyes of
highlight
what
Chris
goes.
Gonzalez's comment?
What was that?
Can you highlight Chris Gonzalez's comment? It's legitimate.
Who is Chris Gonzalez?
CMG.
Okay. You got to give me more. My bad.
No, but what I'm saying is you have to go by the era, in my opinion, when it comes to basketball. And you have to see which player in that specific era dominated that era.
I agree with
That's
that.
my opinion. And I feel like if you talk about, the 50s to the 70s, you talk about Bill Russell. You talk about the 70s and 80s, you talk about Larry Bird, Magic
Oh my
Johnson.
god, it sounds like one of those crazy movies.
But then if you talk about the 90s, which was the golden era, which we can all agree on of basketball, you talk about Michael Jordan.
No, we don't. We do not all agree on that. We do
Well,
not
you
all
don't,
agree
but
on
I
that.
feel
Well,
like if you ask the
Universe
majority
Galaxy
of
and his
people,
boys, they talk about.
yeah, like you and your crew, you talk about, but the majority of the people that watch basketball, they will say Michael Jordan in the 90s because his
Well, I'm
influence to
glad you
other
agree with all
NBA
the people,
players.
and I'm glad you agree with all the people in
Well,
America
Universe, you
and
won't agree
No,
with
I'm
us, so
saying,
we
and
got to
South
agree
I'm
with
Korea and
just
all the
somebody
saying,
other parts of the
else.
world.
I'm saying the influence that Michael Jordan had during his era was more important than anyone else era when they played basketball. If you ask any basketball player today who they look up to,
But you're
they will
telling
say
me
Michael Jordan.
no, that's not true. You're making things up,
Some
and
do,
all the things
Galaxy.
you're telling me about what fans. Hang on, Pesci. Hang on, Pesci. Just give me a chance, Pesci, to respond to him. There's a lot of people here. Then, all the things you're telling me about what fans think on voting and how most Hall of Famers pick him and how he put in the toughest time and all that. The only people who think these things are you, Michael Jordan fans, and you're the
I'm not
only
a Michael
people who
Jordan
use these
No, you're
arguments
basically saying you
more
can't
than
be wrong,
anybody else.
Galaxy.
These are examples of.
You just said your chart's right.
Hang on, Pesci, I can't debate two people at once. Pesci, hang on. I'm not. I'll get to why I think you're a Michael Jordan fan, but one thing at a time. When you
Yeah,
bring
go
up
ahead.
these arguments, nobody else brings it up more than a Michael Jordan fan. And all the things you brought up are not even true anyway, by the way. And voting should not be used
where
to
where am I
prove
wrong?
fact.
So where am I wrong? It's not about voting. It's all about
Let's go
who
through. Let's go
dominated
through
that
one.
era.
Oh, I know, Nemo.
Hold
I
on.
know.
Let me jump in on that one,
but
Michael. Michael, I think
we
you're
met.
talking about fan favorite versus GOAT, though.
No, I
Michael, I
said
think you're talking
no,
about a
no,
fan
Jacob.
favorite. Mike,
I said you
and
cannot
when
pick a
when he
GOAT.
made the hold on, let me finish. When he made the assumption that you were a Michael Jordan fan is because the majority of Michael Jordan fans think of the 90s as being the best years of basketball.
Jacob, you just said that his list
And
isn't
the
wrong.
other things he brought up.
No, I
Jordan
told
is not
you,
the GOAT. I have spoken.
Pesci, I told you before you came on that I didn't agree with him on the top 75 list. I think that Jordan is around the top 25. I can name 20 people that are better than him.
Okay.
But what I was saying was I can't agree with him on the top 75 list, and you also don't agree with him. So I do disagree with Galaxy on some things. This is why we talked politics before we came to the Jordan thing. As soon as we came to the Jordan thing, everybody came out.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask each person one by one, like which era was.
Hey, Jacob, the zombies come out at night. No, it's like
The zombies.
Go ahead.
What's that line?
Michael.
They come out at night or something like that. The zombies come out at night.
No, it's the freaks
come out at night. Yeah.
Yeah, freaks.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't call Michael Jordan fans freaks.
I can picture this girl going, listen, if you go out telling people Jordan ain't top 75, make sure you don't have the camera on.
Just remember, all of y'all, shut the fuck up.
Just like I told you,
Kareem is the greatest.
that one,
so shut
you know?
the fuck up. Kareem has the most
Hey, if
points.
you look at the
He
stats,
is the
Kareem
fucking
is the greatest.
Finals
Kareem's up
MVP,
there.
38 years fucking old. Kareem had 6 rings. Magic only had 5, and all 5 of them were with Kareem.
I
So
always
shut the
said
fuck
just
up.
give me
Kareem's the
Jordan as
greatest.
my first
Shut the
pick.
fuck up. It's over. Discussion.
Get
ended.
out of here,
This
Schmidt.
is another
Nobody
Michael
asked you
Jordan
nothing.
thing.
No, I agree. I agree with Schmidt. Kareem's definitely up there too. And he
Nah,
doesn't bring much
Kareem is the GOAT.
reputation like the
Kareem
best.
was
Give me
dominating at
Magic
age
Johnson first
38.
10 years over anybody's first 10 years. I'll take Magic's first 10 years.
Hey, Kareem was dominating at age 38. He was dominating at age 18, but undefeated at UCLA. 3 years for 3 titles? Went to the fucking
I
Milwaukee
got no problem
Bucks.
with Kareem being up there
and
in
won a
people's
title.
list.
I'll
I
take
never said
Shaquille
Jordan was
O'Neal.
unanimous.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is no doubt a better player than Michael Jordan.
Kareem, I'm just telling you, Kareem is the greatest.
You guys can't say anyone's
Kareem
the
played
greatest,
against
bro.
Chamberlain. He played against Bill Russell. He played against Jordan. He played against Matt. Played with Magic.
I'm not against that.
Bird.
Saying that Kareem Abdul was a better all-around
Kareem
basketball
played
player.
against and with them all. I mean, except LeBron and
But hey,
Kobe.
if you talk about the greatest teams in basketball history, you got to say
Showtime.
Magic, Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, and Scottie
Scotty.
Pippen.
Which was the golden
Boom.
era of basketball.
I agree.
I mean, come on.
Schedule of travel was much harder on Kareem and them. They didn't give them the fucking privileges that they got today.
Right. That's right.
True.
Kareem and them were flying on.
If you want to put Kareem at number one, that's fine. But the shit you guys were talking about when I came in here, that's what I was.
Kareem still all-time points leader.
Yeah.
When LeBron, Jordan, Magic, all those guys have played and come and gone, except LeBron. Kobe, all of them have come and gone, but Kareem's still number one. Still number one.
But like I said, you have to do it by the era. That's my take on it.
Kareem played in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
No, I disagree on that. No.
And when other legends say something, sir, I want to
the late
respect
80s.
the legends when they talk about stuff. We're not allowed to respect the legends. You were saying you can't listen to other. There goes Michael Jordan fans listening to
Well,
other
if you
players.
want to go by that logic,
Do we listen to somebody?
And Kareem fought Bruce Lee.
Pesci, by your
Yeah,
logic,
he
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you, Pesci. Most NBA Hall of Famers do not pick Michael Jordan as the number one NBA player of all time.
Can you name a couple? Because I can name a shitload to have.
Oscar
Sure,
Robertson.
I'll tell you what. We'll play a game. We'll play a game. Let's play a game. Right? You name a
You
Hall
like
of
to play a
Famer who
game?
picks him. I'll name a Hall of Famer who doesn't pick him, and let's find out who has more. All right, you ready?
You want to play a game, Galaxy?
Oh no, is that Jake Hudson?
What was that?
What the fuck?
What happened?
A lot of
tell
Michael
you
Jordan
something,
fans really
Jake.
believe that most Hall of Famers pick him. Some believe all Hall of Famers pick him.
What just happened?
You
Joe
did your
Pesci.
bit.
Jordan!
Joe
Michael! Michael Jordan fans are the biggest pieces of shit.
Since everyone's getting quiet, I want to take this time to remind everybody: Michael Jordan fans are the worst NBA fans.
No, well, NBA fans maybe, but
I
Dallas
would-
Cowboys fans are the worst fans ever.
Yeah, I would say that, and also LeBron fans are the worst. But
Oh
I
no,
won't
man!
take
You
the
know,
bad
actually,
part of it.
no. If you guys don't know. Trust me, Michael Jordan fans may actually be the worst fans in all the sports. No matter what you come up with, Dallas Cowboy fans, LeBron James fans,
Pittsburgh
Yankees fans,
Steelers,
nobody got the drop on Michael Jordan.
Yankees and Steelers fans are pretty bad too.
Yeah, true.
I know this.
Jordan
You
fans
wouldn't come to my
I'm
state
just making
and
up
say
some.
Michael
I'm just making
Jordan.
up examples. I'm just making up examples. Whoever you come up with, none of them got the drop on Michael Jordan.
Philadelphia
None of them.
Eagles fans, end of discussion.
What, Gregory Besley? What's the there
All
is
you gotta
no
do-
challenge.
The Eagles threw snowballs
All
at
you got to
Santa
do is
Claus on
count the number of
Christmas.
things that every fan group comes up with.
My credibility
Michael Jordan
would
fans
be
will have more
shot
questionable things.
if I even had a conversation like that.
Let me tell you something, Pesci. Shut the fuck up. This is my show now. Fuck off, Brad. Go
I
to
can tell you
hell.
an interesting story, Galaxy, how I was going to work at a sports
Thank you, Jake.
radio place, and I chose a different path and ended up in prison.
Thank you, Jake Hudson.
Yeah, Jake Hudson. Thanks for the special appearance.
Oh, shit, I
Shout out
know.
to Jake Hudson. Evil
That
Uno.
was so awesome. I
What's he talking about
wow.
now?
I don't know.
He popped in
I'm
for a
so-
minute. Yeah.
All right,
About
so I
having
have to
sex
give
with-
everybody.
about
I have to
having-
give everybody a heads up. I'm probably going to be wrapping up in the next, probably right at the 3-hour mark.
I'll tell you, he did a great. He did make a
I
shitload
have a
of points.
question. Jake,
Or if
Jake
you guys
Hudson, come
want,
back up.
if you guys want, by the way, if you guys want,
Mhm.
if you guys want, I'll do a live stream after he finished on my page. If you want, we can go over there then. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I plug my page. Is that okay with you?
Oh yeah, plug away. I got both links shared in the bottom. He's either going to be going on the Universe
Thanks.
Galaxy
I would
page
definitely
or
watch that.
what was that?
I said I would definitely watch that.
Jacob
Oh, yeah.
Waters is the biggest
Thank you.
piece of shit in the business.
That's what I do, Schmidt. Thank you.
I've always
You know,
been
I'm-
a fan of make believe.
Galaxy, I'd like to see that. I actually would like. I would be
Hold on.
interested in going over to your page.
Hold on, wait a minute, Jacob. I'm sorry. Jacob Waters is the biggest piece of shit in the business.
Michael Jordan can kiss my ass.
I brought him to the dance.
Oh, well, I forgot to mention that, Herman. I'm sorry.
Joking,
Sorry,
Michael.
sorry.
I love
You
you.
tell them there's 12 minutes left, and
later.
everybody just starts screaming things.
All right. Hey, hold
Random.
on. Who are we going to raid now, Jacob? Let's raid somebody.
Somebody just messaged me. I lost enough brain cells, and they're not talking about what I was saying.
Well, you smoke enough to kill enough brain cells for everybody.
Yeah, but I ain't never said Michael Jordan wasn't in the top 75. I can live with myself.
Well, you know, crack's a hell of a drug, sir.
What's the name of the channel?
The Universe Galaxy.
I would have
So
called
I
it
got-
Jordan's number
yeah,
78.
the main
That probably
NBA
would've got you a million followers. You should rename your
The
channel
main
to
NBA
Michael
page is
Jordan.
called the University.
Prove me wrong. That should be the channel
The
name.
other,
I
the
can't
other
believe
NBA
he
page is
said that.
called
That's just
Michael Jordan
wrong.
fans are the worst NBA fans.
We are now witnessing Pesci's heel turn
Rename your
right now.
channel to Michael Jordan fans should be hung. Please subscribe.
Joe Pesci hates kids and gay people.
Don't encourage him, guys. Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. Don't
Jacob,
that
if
was
you would
rough.
have walked up to me and said Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the best player in the league, I wouldn't have lost my marbles.
True.
Kareem is the best player in
But
the
when
league
we're
ever.
saying Pippen would have been fine.
No,
I
we
didn't say
started with you putting his team awards on Michael Jordan's shoulders. That's where we started, and then I suggested
that's
Wilt
just
Chamberlain.
one argument.
We got to Kareem. I could name probably a top 20 that are better than Michael Jordan.
Let me
This
tell
is
you,
my top
Pesci, Pistol Pete
Well, that's
Maravich.
20. That's not 75.
I'm not the one that made the claim 75, but he already made his argument for why he was talking about 75. He
guy
said
was
he
talking about
wasn't
saying-
put
Wait,
him
hold on.
that
Wait,
list.
hold
Did
on.
anybody hear what I was saying? Because I felt like 4 people were talking.
Yeah, I heard you, Jacob Bars. I heard you, Jacob Bars.
Galaxy. Can I
Yeah,
ask you this,
yeah.
Galaxy?
Yeah.
Does Michael
Yeah, what's
Jordan
up,
make
man?
your top 100?
I'm shutting the whole thing off.
That's a good question, man.
We're already at 75. We're
Yeah,
already
I'm
at
sure he
100.
does. Why not? I don't
No,
know.
I'm asking this. Does he
Bro,
make your top
top
100?
Just so you know,
top
man.
100, dude.
Just so you know, man. I never actually said he was not top 75. What I said was I'm not sure if he should be on that NBA's top 75 list.
Jesus Christ.
But
Well, I'm not sure. Just those words alone.
Is that the same guy who
That's
thought
bad, dude.
Michael Jordan?
Top 75.
By the way,
You're
for
debating?
for every Michael
he's
Jordan
definitely
fan
in the
listening,
top 75.
If he was
for
making
every
money
Michael
for
Jordan
this, I
fan,
should get it.
Joe Pesci, if you can give me a second. For every Michael Jordan fan listening, I welcome you, any of you, all of you. If you disagree with me on anything, you're welcome to go on my
come back with a
podcast
good
and
point.
or
You
my
just
live
say, welcome
stream
to my
if
list.
you want to go on. You know,
Yeah, sure. I'll
Joe
be
Pesci,
over
man.
your
You know
live
you should have done Home Alone, man. Seriously. Man.
I am going to listen to
What was
this,
that?
Galaxy. I got a surprise for you. Is this going to be on tape, Jacob? Save this tape. Because
Joe
there was
Pesci,
a part
if you really want to
where he was
surprise me,
making a
leave,
point.
man. That'd be nice.
He didn't make the point. I go, sir, can you please repeat what you just said? He did. I go, because what you said didn't make no sense. And he didn't repeat it. Keep this tape. I want that clip.
I do have that. You said you didn't repeat it, and then you talked over him, and then I said, Pesci,
No,
be quiet so I
you
can hear him
remember
repeat
your
it.
point of the night.
No, man. I said, please stop talking again because he's trying to repeat it, and then you talked over him again, and then he actually did repeat it. But yeah, it'll be on there. You can check it back, and you can see where you got.
What did he repeat?
He was. I'd have to go back. We've
He
we were
didn't
going back and
repeat
forth.
I'm gonna get. I need that clip.
He was,
the whole thing will be up. It'll be a 3-hour
Jacob,
thing. You guys
Jacob,
can
he was
check
answering. He was answering my question, and I didn't hear the last part until he repeated the whole thing.
There you
He
go.
repeated everything. He repeated everything, Pesci.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Herman, fuck off. I blocked you.
Thank you.
Herman, here's the thing.
Questions like this. Herman. That'd be close to the camera.
I blocked you. Go the fuck away.
That's the icebreaker.
I'm not relevant.
Herman, you want to hear something funny? Oh, Herman, you're not Jewish, are you?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I thought you were Jewish that one day when you were talking about Hanukkah.
Nothing wrong with Jewish
I was
people,
gonna
by
say
the way,
most of my closest friends are.
I celebrate Hanukkah here in Mississippi. I get 8 days of presents from Pesci.
By the way, I admire the fuck out of Galaxy right now for coming up here. I admire you, man. I really do.
He'll have 6 people that all disagree with him going once. Like he it's hard. I don't know how he deals with it. It's a lot of people coming at you.
I don't know shit. I don't know either.
I didn't hear any great points though. I didn't hear any. Anybody hear any great points?
Yeah. By the way, Herman,
you agreed with the Wilt Chamberlain
Herman,
points.
you
You agreed with Schmidt coming in with
That
Kareem
wasn't
points.
a point though. That was. He
Hold
didn't
on,
make
Galaxy.
that
I'm trying to hear you,
point. That was
Galaxy,
your
but
point.
we'll let them talk first. Go ahead, Galaxy.
What I was going to say,
Maybe
Herman,
one
I also
thing.
appreciate you being very nice to me. By the way,
I'm trying to. I try to give people a chance to
yeah, I was saying,
themselves
I
and
also
get their
appreciate
point.
you being very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you for being here. And Pesci, the thing is, I got to address what Pesci just said. Pesci, it's not that
my dreams. Thank you. Thanks to the host for inviting me on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
go ahead.
Oh yeah, you know you're always welcome.
I was going to Pesci real quick, and Pesci, with all due respect, I say this: it's not that he didn't make good points; he didn't say what you wanted him to say. He didn't say what you wanted him to hear.
I didn't
That's
want
my
him to say
opinion.
anything. I'm waiting for a point.
Did you? So what did you want? Did you want a list of 75 people that are better than Michael Jordan?
Dude,
What
I
did
don't
you
know
want?
what.
The whole list.
Yeah,
right now.
listen. My thing is this: if you say something like that, you make sure have your list ready.
We
Like,
want to
if you
see
say-
the whole list.
We want to see your list. That's why I asked who's your top 10 or who's your top 5.
But that's what he started out with in the argument was he doesn't have a ranking system, Michael. That's what he said. He said I can list people that I think are better that should be ranked higher, but he doesn't have a ranking system.
I understand that, but you cannot say Michael cannot be in top 75 and you do not have a list of top 75 players.
Well,
That's
I'll
my
tell
opinion.
you what. I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. I'll top that. I'll top that. If you're gonna tell me he must be top 75, prove it to me. None of y'all have proved it to me.
What do you mean prove it? I just said he has 6 championships.
We proved it.
I mean,
You
I'm
didn't
not
prove it
trying to
with
prove it,
picks.
but it just, you know.
How have you not proved it?
By the way, I also want to point out to
Because Pesci, I told you that point in the beginning. You were talking about his team
By the way,
championship.
if you there's a right.
Oh my
it's a
God,
team,
Timo
exactly.
Berger
And by the way, to the other guy who was telling me about having a list ready, to that guy, I want to point out something to you. What a lot of you're going to say you're not a Michael Jordan fan, but this is how another reason I know you are. You guys do this thing where you go,
Stop saying
you
that.
I was
need
just
someone
joking
to
about not being
rank
a
and
Jordan
pick.
fan, you silly man.
You are
I
a
am a Michael Jordan
man.
fan.
Let me
Show
tell you
me
what
a
you do.
damn list and shut the hell up.
I'm a
Boom.
I'm a
That's
Michael
me
Jordan
saying that.
I'm a Michael.
Fuck off, bro.
Kelsey, I would love to
I'm a
say you
Michael
made
Jordan
some
fan.
great
Anyway.
points. You didn't make any
I
points.
can't hear
It's
anything
just
now.
tough to get in with this. That Pesci
Sorry.
guy.
I
That
can
Pesci guy
barely
just
hear him.
too much, man. Seriously.
Say
I can
that
barely hear
again.
Galaxy.
I couldn't hear you, Universe. Go back to what you were trying to say.
Yeah. What I say to the guy who was telling me to have a ranking system. One of the things Michael Jordan fans do a lot, is when you tell them something like, "Okay, Michael Jordan's not the number one guy, or he's not top 20, or he's not
This
top
guy
30,
doesn't
whatever."
have a-
What they do is they go, "Okay, who's your GOAT? Who's your top 5? Who's your top 10? Where do you rank them?" You know why they do that? They can't prove to you that they're right and you're wrong, or they're too prideful to admit that they're wrong and you're right. So what they want you to do is they want you to make it easier for them. They want you to bring up players so they can compare their guy to your guy, and then they can go, okay, if I can prove Michael Jordan is better than his guy that he picked, then I win. That's what you guys want to do. You guys want to compare people, but the topic is not your guy versus my guy. The topic is whatever, prove whatever you think if you're right on, prove it. So, for example, is the topic that you disagree with me that Michael Jordan is top 75? Is that the topic? Or is the topic your guy versus my guys?
No, the topic was we agree that Michael Jordan is not the greatest of all time, and I told you why. Because you cannot pick the greatest of all time in any sport. It's hard to do that because you have different eras. But then someone brought up top
I don't think
75.
Pesci agrees with him.
Well,
Right.
I think he did.
I did.
No, Pesci
we
says
all-
that he doesn't pick Michael Jordan as the number one NBA player of all time, but he says that's the first guy he
I
picks.
do, but I'm not against. I do, but I'm not
He
against
does.
someone going.
So
Fuck
now he
you.
does. Okay. So he
Dude,
changed it.
you-
Now he does.
But
You know
Galaxy,
why I was
was saying,
upset?
but Galaxy, what I was saying was I agreed on you and you guys about Michael Jordan not being the greatest because again, you can't pick a GOAT of any
I know. I
sport.
heard you. I heard you. Yeah, I heard you.
But my thing is, when I ask you who is your top 10 and who do you put over Michael Jordan, and you say you won't put him in the top 75 or even in the top 75, I just wanted to
Right.
know.
Well, I
who
didn't.
you like Michael.
I didn't say he was not top 70. I didn't say he was not top 75. I never said that.
And Michael, I think he did give you 5 or 10 when you asked him the first
No,
time.
I asked him who was his top 5. Cool. But then when you say top, you won't. You
Right,
said you
I did,
won't
right,
put him top
yes.
76 or top 75, right? You said you barely won't put him in top 75, right?
No.
You put him in
I'm
top
saying.
100?
And he said Kukoc would
I'm
have
saying.
had all those rings without him.
No, I'm saying that I'm not sure if he should be on the NBA's top 75 list.
And that's why I asked who was
But
your
I
top
did give some
75
players. The
That's
host,
all. Yeah, top 5. Yeah, you did. You did.
I mean, do you want me to sit there? I mean, seriously, do you want me to sit there and bore the whole audience by listing 75 players over Michael Jordan?
Well, my thing is, if you say something like that, you got to have a list ready to back up that why you think that way
Well, how
against
about
Michael Jordan.
how about this? But now you got to be consistent. If you're going to tell me that I have to have proof he's top 75, I'll give you one better. It'll save more time. It'll be much more practical. Prove to me he should be factually in that top 75 list. It works both ways. You make the claim, you prove it.
Well, but you say all of our facts aren't right.
I say they're
So
the
do you-
worst
so-
NBA
so-
fans, yeah. And they're
agree
not
with this
right. Yeah,
guy.
sure.
So how you want to do it? You want to do it by
Yeah, it's a
by,
popular,
like
popular does not equal factual, Pesci.
Mike,
What
no
was
matter what you say, he'll just go, nope, he's got this list or whatever. It's the Galaxy list of never wrong.
All right, listen, guys. If you guys want to,
Actually,
pop
the
over to
truth-
Universe Galaxy. No, I gotta wrap it up here. But if you guys want to pop over to Universe Galaxy, I don't know if he's going to be
No
starting one
problem.
up.
Thanks for having me
He's
on.
got his pages shared at the bottom. I'll leave this stream up. Anybody can go check out his links. Go like and subscribe so you can see when he comes on if you want to debate him. But I appreciate
Thank
everybody.
you. I'm
coming
actually
on.
going to start. I'm going to start the. Yeah, just real quick. I'm going to start the live stream right now on the page that's called Michael Jordan's fans are the worst NBA fans in. And I want to thank the host for having me on. Thank you very much, man. You're a nice guy. And thanks to pretty much everyone in here except the Pesci guy. Everyone else too.
Change the name to the Jordan fans are the biggest pieces of shit in the business. I almost strangled a man for that picture.
Yeah, but
You know what I
Galaxy,
mean?
Galaxy, I'll be there with
And
you,
me
bro.
and my aunt aren't on great terms over this other picture. That's how serious this Jordan is.
Pesci, shut the fuck up. You're main Jacob Boyer's guest. Fuck you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Jacob.
Yeah,
No
Jacob.
problem,
Pop
Herman.
Trunk on an elementary
Jacob.
kid.
Okay,
Thank you, everybody. You guys have a
Thank you
good
for
rest
coming
of
on,
the night.
Galaxy. You're awesome, man. I'm going to be over at your page in a
Herman's
few
the
minutes.
biggest piece of shit in the business.
Thanks for
I
having
am.
me.